Getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball. And what's good, everyone? Welcome in. Happy Sunday, everybody. Not the typical Sunday. It is Selection Sunday. The bracket with a field of 68 being revealed in 5 hours from now, approximately. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Here we go. The SEC Tournament Championship game on the line for both of these teams. Auburn, the number 4 seed, looking for their first SEC Tournament Championship for Auburn, winning the last couple of years in Florida, looking for their first one since 2014 for the Gators. Gators, the 6th seed in the bracket. This is going to be a good style of basketball here. Florida goes by a 4-guard starting lineup, one of the top backcourts in the country. They have really risen the second half of the season. They were like a bubble team around like a month and a half ago, and they have just skyrocketed all the way up to a projected number 6 seed right now in the NCAA tournament bracket for Florida. Auburn, low-key, has been one of the top teams analytically all throughout the course of the season. They've been undervalued in terms of their seed around a 3 or a 4, but they've been inside the top 6 all season long analytically. One of the deepest teams in all of college basketball. They go around 13 players deep on the roster for Auburn. They rank top 5 in the nation in bench points. They're the top major conference team in bench points scored per game this season. What's good, everybody? Cody, David, Lucas, Ward, welcome to the stream. Should be a good one today. I'll be also covering the Selection Sunday live stream as well at 6 o'clock for my live reactions to Selection Sunday to the March Madness Tournament show, so feel free to join in as well for the Selection Sunday live stream later today. And if you haven't already joined, make sure to join the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group. That link is posted in the chat. All are welcome to join. It is totally free. All you have to do is click the link, sign up for an ESPN account if you don't already have one, and then click Join Group for Behind the Arc Basketball to once again be a part of this year's 2024 NCAA Tournament March Madness Bracket Challenge Group and the ESPN Tournament Challenge. Auburn, they've been rolling lately. 5 straight victories in a row. Started off dominant in the SEC Tournament. They destroyed South Carolina by 31 in the SEC Tournament quarterfinals. Got here with a win yesterday over Mississippi State, 73-66. Believe it or not, that was the first single-digit victory all season long for Auburn. This Auburn team is destined for a deep run in the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of talk about Auburn, how they haven't beaten good teams. They only have one quad 1 victory all season long. They've been able to put away all that chatter that's happened here, and they are just ripping through this SEC tournament bracket. Wins over South Carolina by 31, and then one against Mississippi State in a lone single-digit game this season. They've been blowing out teams all throughout the course of the season. 25 victories by 10 points or greater. For Florida, this team is on the uprise. They got past Georgia in the quarterfinal round, or in the first round, 85-80. Big win over Alabama, 102-88 in the quarterfinal round. Alabama struggling to play interior defense and got a lot of concerns in their first round if they take on Samford in the opening round of the bracket for Alabama, because they have a lot of difficulty playing interior D. And then Florida able to outlast Texas A&M 95-90 yesterday to get here to the championship game for another team that could very well go deep into the March Madness bracket and can break a lot of brackets as a projected 6th seed. Vegas, welcome back in. Thanks for joining in. Not looking so well for PC. It's looking like they're going to go to the NIT, most likely. Yeah, this has been a tough year for bubble teams. Like, there's so many teams in the bubble. Like, The past couple of years, it's usually down to like 5, 6 teams in the bubble. Yes, Colgate's in. Colgate won the Patriot. So they're like a dynasty in the Patriot. Here's the bubble right now. The bubble is massive. And I'm going to make a case here for Oklahoma. Here's my bold prediction. Oklahoma will miss this year's NCAA tournament for me. I think they're the Ole Miss of the Big 12 for Oklahoma. A lot of people have Oklahoma comfortably in. I do not, in my opinion. They got a net ranking of 46. They're 20-12. 4-12 record, though, against Quad 1 opponents. They're 16-0 through Quads 2 through 4. But 4-12 against Quad 1. They simply cannot beat good teams for Oklahoma. They're 2-6 in their last 8 games. Their best win came against BYU, which is a projected 5 or 6 seed in the bracket. That's the best win they have all season long for Oklahoma. They lost against UCF, lost against Oklahoma State, almost lost to Oklahoma State a second time, so they don't have as many good wins there for Oklahoma. I think they miss out, and I think a lot of bracketologists have them in the bracket. Another team that's borderline, I think, getting sent to the playing game, that's Michigan State. 14 losses for Michigan State, just 3-9 in Quad 1 games, 3-7 on the road. Hyped up because it's one of the top college basketball programs in the nation for Michigan State. But then if you look at their schedule, bad losses against Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio State, and Iowa. They're holding on to that victory against Baylor by double digits like fine wine for them. I think they get into the playing game for Michigan State. So here's the bubble right now. Mississippi State, which most likely should be in because of the win over Tennessee. They're probably a projected 10 seed for Mississippi State. After that, Michigan State, I think they're on the cut line right there. I think they're going to be in the playing game. Here's one that nobody's talking about. Dayton with a net ranking of 23, super high, but 24-7 record. 3-4 in Quad 1 for Dayton, 6-5 in the road, 3-3 in the last 6 games, though, holding on to a victory over St. John's and Cincinnati, which is not in the tournament for Cincy. Losses against George Mason, Richmond, VCU, Loyola Chicago, and Duquesne, the worst one that they had in the conference tournament quarterfinals. I'm not sure about Dayton either. That will be a shocker right there to a lot of folks, but Dayton, I think they could get sent to a back-end 11 for Dayton. Another team possibly to miss is Florida Atlantic. I think they might miss, honestly. Net ranking of 39, 25-8 overall, 2-2 in Quad 1. They have a Quad 3 loss, a Quad 4 loss, or 2 Quad 4 losses for FAU. They're holding on to that Final Four narrative from last year. I think we got to get rid of that. They have more losses than South Florida. They finished below South Florida in the conference regular season. Couldn't even beat 15-19 Temple yesterday. Bad losses against Bryant, Florida Gulf Coast, Charlotte, Temple, UAB, and also lost against Memphis as well. They have some terrible losses there for Florida Atlantic. I think they could be shockingly out in the tournament bracket, holding on to that double overtime victory by 1 over Arizona. Like fine wine, same as a win over Texas A&M. After that, Texas A&M is weird. They swept Tennessee. They beat Tennessee twice. They have 7 Quad 1 wins, which is most out of any team on the bubble. For Texas A&M, though, they have some pretty bad losses. They lost against Vanderbilt, got swept against Arkansas. They got 4 Quad 3 losses, so they are just wonky all over the place. 20-14 record, that's going to be a tough one to decide as well. Other bubble teams, Colorado, St. John's, Virginia. I don't think it's enough for Virginia, honestly, because they're just 2-7 in Quad 1 games. They simply haven't beat signature teams this season for Virginia, and who would want to see Virginia, honestly, play in another tournament game? They lost that game at the free throw line against NC State. They're one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the nation. I think they got themselves out of the bracket with the NC State loss on Friday night. What's good, Charlize on the stream? Welcome in. Yeah, crazy. So many bid stealers. It's insane. So, yeah, I'm shocked about Houston losing against Iowa State. Houston was ripping through all the teams like a machine, but hey, maybe that's the loss that they needed to get themselves right back on the right track for Houston. Iowa State looks like it's a bad matchup for Houston in particular, and then Purdue doesn't shock me at all. Wisconsin wanted it more. The thing that's helping out Providence is Wisconsin. If Wisconsin wins the Big Ten tournament, Providence beat them by double digits, so that helps out the case for PC. Right there, Providence in the bubble alongside Seton Hall, Pittsburgh, and Indiana State. So that's the entire bubble, going from like top to bottom with all the teams on the bubble: Mississippi State, Michigan State, Dayton, Florida Atlantic, Texas A&M, TCU, Colorado, Oklahoma, St. John's, Virginia, Seton Hall, Providence, Indiana State, Pittsburgh. That's the entire bubble. Teams that should be in the NIT include K-State, Villanova, Wake Forest, Ohio State, and Iowa. Here we go, about to play basketball here. SEC Tournament Championship game. If you guys are doing the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well. And here we go as we are underway with the opening tip. Auburn, top 5 in the nation in bench points scored per game. White jerseys, dark blue numbers, dark blue letters for the Tigers. They have the possession first, going right to left on the floor. Florida with the blue jerseys, orange numbers, orange letters, white outline for this matchup. Janai Broom down inside, floats up the shot with a left hand. He scores for 2. An amazing season by Janai Broom, the big man for Auburn. This team is just so well balanced for the Tigers. They go 13 players deep in a lineup. Really good guard depth. They don't turn over the basketball often. That was an issue in their previous seasons, especially the year to get the 2 seed with Jabari on the team, Jabari Smith. They had a lot of turnover issues, but this year they've been one of the top teams in the nation in fewest turnovers per game. The guard play has been excellent. Aiden Holloway, 5-star freshman, has the top of the key, sends it off to his right to Denver Jones, another key freshman on the roster. Top of the key, Chad Baker-Mazzara, key front at 6'7". They got a couple key front court players as well for depth guys in the lineup too, like Dylan Cardwell behind Janai Broom in the lineup. Missed shot there inside by Auburn. Turnover committed by Florida, though, up the floor. Auburn with possession. Holloway moves it out to the corner. Baker-Mazzara, step back 3 in the air. Laser, he's got it. 5-zip for the Tigers. Joanne, welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, Bruce Pearl, really good head coach. They're playing for a whole lot more this year. I watched the 60 Minutes episode a couple weeks ago. One of the guys that he has on his team is one of the team managers, came down with cancer a couple of years ago, and the kid was able to beat cancer. Bruce Pearl heard the story and showed up to the kid's hospital. The kid was in the hospital for months, beat cancer, and then he committed to Auburn. He used to play basketball back in middle school and high school, and then he had to stop because he got cancer. And then Bruce Pearl visited the kid in the hospital, and then the kid committed to Auburn, and now he's the team manager. Florida at the free throw line first time today. 2 shots. Walter Clayton Jr. made the first one, made the second one. Starters today with Tyrese Samuel, Walter Clayton Jr., Will Richard, Zion Poland. This team is basically all transfers for Florida. And then Micah Hand-Logden. Auburn with Janai Broom, Jalen Williams, Chad Baker-Mazzara, Denver Jones, and Aiden Holloway. Missed 3 there by Auburn as Florida has the basketball. Florida yet to make a field goal so far. The first 2 minutes, bounce pass underneath. They dump it off and got deflected. Back to the perimeter off to Clayton. Clayton inside the key. Moves it over to Samuel. Samuel inside as he powers his way. No good. Missed the layup. Battle for the rebound. Florida had it for a moment. Ball is bouncing around. That's a hustle play right there by Auburn as they come up with it. Pass ahead out in the fast break transition as they scored a layup up and in off the glass. Aiden Holloway gets it for 2. Great start here for the Tigers. 7-2 so far the first 2+ minutes. And oh no, there's a player down in the court for Florida, and that's their big man, the 7'1" center, Micah Hand-Logden, who is down right now for the Gators as we have to stop time. 17:39 left to go in the first as Hand-Logden right now is being attended to on the court. Went down hard on a hustle play for the 50-50 ball, and this is not a good sign for Florida. Top front court player on the team for the starting center. They go 4 guards, 1 center, averaging 7.1 rebounds per game for a 7'1" big man, and this is a key injury right now for the Gators. It's not a good sign. We're going to cut to the timeout. Yikes. That's not good for Florida right there because Florida Atlantic last year made it to the Final Four. They had a 7'1" center on their team. Miami was led by Norchad Omier, which had basically the bulk of the rebounds last year. This is not a good sign for the 7'1" center for Florida right now. This is not a good sign at all. They do have another front court player with Alex Condon coming off the bench as a freshman. Hand-Logden's a sophomore. Hey, what's good? Diamond McCrab on the stream. Welcome in. Yeah, that's my question too, Vegas. So is North Carolina still even a lock for the 1 seed? A lot of bracketologists put them as a 1. I think Florida State can make a case to, or for Iowa State. I think Iowa State can make a case to overjump North Carolina as the final number 1. I'm surprised by the way that Iowa State dominated Houston yesterday. Maybe it's the loss that Houston needed, but also to take into account that was basically like a home game for Iowa State more so, and those fans travel. Um, T-Mobile Arena is 3 hours away from Iowa State's campus. Iowa State's going to be playing games at Creighton's arena in Omaha, so they're looking good in terms of getting to the Sweet 16. If they're able to win their first 2 games in Omaha, I picture that they should be able to do so. That's basically like playing home games once again for them because they were 3 hours away from T-Mobile Arena. They went undefeated at home this year out in Ames, Iowa, and then they're going to play basically like 2 games, winning a 2-hour ride to Creighton's campus. So they're basically playing a lot of games that's like similar to home games for Iowa State. So right now on the timeout, this looks like a pretty bad injury for Florida right now. They still have the player attended on the court with hand locked and he went down. Yeah, this is not a good sign for Florida. Man, just terrible. Like I had them pinned as like a potential like deep run team for the Gators. But you gotta have like front court options too that can help you out because there's a lot of guards on Florida's team. Yale starting to pull away right now in the Ivy League championship, 35-25 over Brown. What a story for Brown. They were 6-17 in their first 23 games, and they made the Ivy League championship with a record of 13-17, rallying off 7 straight victories. Yale, record of 21-9, went to the tournament in 2022, got crushed against Purdue in the first round. Duquesne just tipped off against VCU. Duquesne's looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977. They started off 16-0 in the pandemic year in 2020 before the tournament was shut down. Their resume wasn't good enough either way, probably to get into the NCAA tournament for Duquesne. They did a lot of losing in February of 2020, I believe, but right now, Duquesne leading TCU 5-2 right now for the 6th seed who beat Dayton in the quarterfinal round for the A10. Jerry in the street, welcome in, taking Auburn in this one by 6. Yeah, Auburn, good start for them right now. Just devastating for Florida with an injury. I believe the line was Auburn by 5.5. Yep, Auburn by 5.5 on the ESPN bet line. Over under at 157. We just do it for fun. So if you win, we're just gonna do it for fun. Yeah, Vegas came out first last year. They still got the stretcher out right now. This is terrible. So the stretcher is out right now for Florida with their 7'1" center that got injured on the last play. It was a 50-50 ball that everybody was diving for inside a key, and he went down. They had to bring out a stretcher for Micah Hand-Logden, a sophomore center, 7'1", averaging 7 rebounds per game, 5.5 points per game, and oh man, just a scary moment. Prayers to that man right there. Standing ovation by the whole crowd. Auburn team, standing ovation. All the Florida players. Just in disbelief, but man, just so classy for Auburn. All the Auburn players came over, patted Hand-Logden on the stretcher. This Florida team, now they're going to have to rally. Auburn, or Oregon. Oregon is a team that has been rallying desperately for them. I would not bet against Oregon in the first round. Dana Altman's won 7 straight NCAA tournament first round games at Oregon for him. That team is on a big run right now and they had to overcome a lot of injuries, a lot of minutes lost. N'Faly Dante is back, and watching that game yesterday, there was a massive block that N'Faly Dante had in the final minute against Colorado. He sent that ball. The announcer called it a rocket ship, that he sent that ball off the block. It was ridiculous. He blocked it. It went like halfway across the gym, and then he was able to, with his speed, he's 7 feet for N'Faly Dante. He was able to track down the loose ball. Yeah, Michigan State right now is playing for they're right on the cut line right there. Yeah, we could potentially see a 10 seed play in this year. That's how odd it's been. So we are back to action. Inbound got poked out of bounds. Yes, I think Colorado's probably going to make it in, honestly. They've been playing real well up to this point. I think they won 7 of their last 8 until their loss yesterday. So they were 7-1 in their last 8. That includes yesterday's loss. Inbound got deflected out of bounds by back-to-back deflections out of bounds here. We're going to move time in the court. So Auburn got the deflection on that. So Florida gets the inbound right now. We come back to the timeout. Florida down 7-2. Mario, welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Top of the key with Tyree Samuel, the transfer from Seton Hall. Walter Clayton drives inside. Got a block from behind by Janai Broome as it goes back to Auburn here with a possession. Aiden Holloway takes the 3 straight away. Off the rim, no good. A rebound pulled down by Samuel for Florida. Yikes. Yeah, that's a terrible sign right there. Terry, thanks for joining in. Ouch. And a bone punctured his skin for the player from Florida. Now went down. Auburn taking it right to the rim. Couldn't finish with a layup off the glass. Too strong. Missed by Denver Jones. Gators have the ball. Lob down low over to Samuel. Samuel scores the layup. Yeah, just devastating. Like, it took like 10 minutes for the whole thing to clear the court. I was shocked that ESPN didn't cut right to the timeout. Jones got his shot blocked at the top of the key. Broome gets it back though. Broome drives downhill to the lane, and Broome gets fouled. So 2 free throws coming up here for Auburn by Janai Broome. Yeah, terrible injury. Colorado would probably be an 11 if they make it in. Determining on what they do for the play-in, they might be doing 10 seed playing games instead of 11 seed playing games because the bubble's been so strong this year. We have substitutions here for Auburn. KD Johnson, Trey Donaldson both check in first time today. Denver Jones will take a seat on the bench right now, same as Holloway. First free throw is good by Broome. Second shot by Broome right down the middle. That's been a key as well for this team. Really improving at the free throw line. They're a much better three-point shooting team this season than years past for Auburn. And also they can take care of the basketball real well. The balance has been incredible this season. One of the deepest teams in the nation. Florida has possession as they dribble up to the right elbow. A lot of dribbling here. Turn around at the low block. Missed off the front rim. No good by Zion Pullen. Rebound secure by Donaldson. He looks to push it up the floor. Johnson, Eurostep. Kick out quarter. Pass deflected and intercepted. Great job in the corner right there by Florida. Able to come up with the interception. Clayton down low. Powering his way inside. And Auburn commits the reach-in foul. Yeah, NC State will probably be an 11 seed. Most likely. Either an 11 or a 12. For them, like a high-end 12. Probably Oregon, too. So both of those teams either an 11 or 12. I saw somebody's bracket put Drake as a 10. I think Drake's either an 11 or a 12. I would not go as far up as a 10 for Drake right there. So we take the timeout on the floor right now. Around 16 minutes left to go. And the first 4 minutes through as we take the first media timeout. Yeah, Iowa State definitely has made the case to be the 1 seed. Yeah, I think Indiana State's going to miss it, unfortunately, right now. This week was not good for Indiana State. They saw all the teams around them or teams behind them keep on winning. It's not looking so hot for Indiana State right now. And a week ago, I would have said that they're in, same as everybody else. I didn't picture this many teams to win, and then we have all these bid stealers that's been able to come up too and come out of nowhere, pick up conference tournament victories. So yeah, Iowa State and North Carolina, they have the same record to each other, 27-7. UNC, the ACC runner-up, Big 12 champs for Iowa State. And Iowa State actually has a better net ranking than North Carolina. Net ranking of number 6 for Iowa State, net ranking of number 8 for North Carolina. North Carolina has their best wins against Tennessee and then Duke 2 times that they swept Duke in the regular season. They're 16-7 in quads 1 and 2. Iowa State's also 16-7 in quads 1 and 2. Iowa State, I feel like, has stronger victories, though. They've swept Houston twice, including a massive win over Houston yesterday and a win over Baylor. So, yeah, that makes the case the 69-41 win. I think we get a real case for Iowa State to be a 1 seed instead of North Carolina. A lot of bracketologists have it as North Carolina being the final 1 seed, but I think we got to look at Iowa State. They got the same record as UNC, playing a tougher conference. Both have the same amount of quad 1 and quad 2 victories combined. But then if you look at best wins, you look at Houston 2 times, including yesterday, by 28 points. A win over Baylor, which is a projected 3 seed, and then North Carolina beat Duke 2 times, which Duke is a projected 3 seed. Tennessee is a 2 seed. So best wins for UNC coming against a 2 seed and a 3 seed twice. Best wins for Iowa State coming against a 1 seed twice and a 3 seed once. Yeah, it was a scary injury. He had to get loaded onto the stretcher. It was like a 50-50 ball. And everybody was like diving for the ball. And he was in the pile. It looked pretty bad. He couldn't get up. Prayers out to that young man. 7-foot center in the team for Florida. Very slow start to this game so far because of that injury, a lot of foul. That's what you gotta expect in the SEC. We've had like a lot of like explosive games with like teams scoring 100 points, or it's gonna be a lot of games with fouls. Missed 3 by Florida as we come back from the timeout. They got stripped going up, and it goes back to Auburn here with the ball down low underneath. Missed shot at the glass for Auburn, tipped out to the perimeter where Florida is able to come down with it. Here's a 3 out in transition for Florida. Came off the rim short. Florida's the top rebounding team in the nation. They come up with a putback up and then off the backboard by Zion pulling for 2. Now cuts the lead 3 right now. Slowing down tempo for Auburn. This is Trey Donaldson. Edge of the midcourt logo sends it over to the right wing, over to Dylan Cardwell. Explosive big man, 6'11 center out of Augusta, Georgia. Here's a 3 taken by Auburn. Missed off the rim short by Jalen Williams. Florida's hanging in right now. In this one, Florida has a spin move inside a key. They put it up, no good. Blocked from the side by Cardwell, and Auburn has it back. Auburn top of 12 in the nation in blocks per game this season. Trey Donaldson. So Temple's going to have to win the A10 later, or American later today to get in. So they'll have to get past UAB in that game. That's crazy if they do. 16-19 Temple. Florida Atlantic, they should be not allowed in the tournament based on that final possession from yesterday. Turnaround shot, banks it in for Auburn. Able to drop it down, plus believe they're going to have a free throw coming up as well, as there was contact on the turnaround shots. Good assist right there. 3 off the 5. Yep, that's a foul. Chris Moore able to bank it home off the glass. Trey Donaldson with assist. Virginia and Florida Atlantic, those are 2 teams based on how they performed in the last game that are definitely not deserving to make it in. Virginia shot the ball horribly at the free throw line. Florida Atlantic, that was a god-awful, terrible possession. Couldn't even get a shot off. They turned it over. They did way too many dribbles underneath the hoop. I thought they were going to lay it up. Instead, they decided to pass it, and then it it went like they tried to like thread the needle between a bunch of guys, and then Temple deflected it, and Temple came up with a steal, and the time expired. The free throw was good. 3-point play complete for Auburn. Florida down by 6 currently with a possession. Gators drive inside. They float up the runner. Missed off the backroom by Poland. Rebound controlled by Chris Moore. These guys are flying everywhere so far in this game. Oh, what a steal down the near side of the floor by Florida. Up ahead here, the pack. Missed the dunk, but they did get fouled on it, so this will be 2 shots coming up in the free throw line by Will Richard. Joe, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining in, man. Best of luck to Illinois today. Yeah, crazy. The crazy part about it is, Vegas, is that the Big East, the number 2 rated conference in America behind the Big 12, with number 1 ranked UConn, number 8 ranked Creighton, number 10 ranked Marquette, might just get 3 bids total. If Providence, St. John's, and Seton Hall all get left out of the bracket, the Big East might get 3 bids total, and then the Pac-12 has Arizona and Washington State already. Colorado could potentially get in, plus Oregon as the AQ. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, that's going to be terrible if the Big East only gets 3 bids in the tournament. That is just an absolute, just terrible decision if that happens by the selection committee later today. Lob got deflected towards the back line of the court right there. Who's gutted? His bodies are tangling all over the floor. Clayton went down trying to save it. Cardwell went down off the initial lob. This game is physical right now. Bodies are flying everywhere. Yeah, so Temple, if they beat UAB today, Temple would get the automatic qualifier from the American, and they would be in. They would be in with a 17-19 record as the 11th seed in the American. And I've been saying for months, those are the 2 conferences I cannot trust when it comes down to potential bid stealers, American and A-10. And I've been saying it for months how Florida Atlantic, Memphis take the field. Florida Atlantic or Memphis, or would I take the field? I took the field. And I thought I had named UAB as one of the teams. UAB in a grouping with Charlotte, North Texas, and a grouping with teams that could potentially be like an upset team in the American. I did not project Temple. Not at all. I don't even know what seed Temple would be. I don't know. Like a 15 for Temple. Temple used to be good like 15 years ago. They used to run through the A-10 when they were a member of the A-10 back in like 2008, 2009. Missed jumper off the inbound by Baker Mazzara. Auburn gets it back. Auburn by 4 right now. Under 14 minutes left to go in the first half. This first half is going by like a crawl. Top of the key, Dylan Cardwell. Cardwell bounce pass over to the elbow into the hands to Williams. Williams double team. Puts it up underneath. He scores. Up and in off the backboard. 14-8 right now. Florida up the floor. Clayton being pressured at the wing. Clayton's going to slow it down. A lot of active defenders here in this Auburn team. Clayton moves on the top of the key. Number 10, Thomas Hall for Florida. First season from New Oxford, Pennsylvania. Bounce pass goes over to a dribble drive inside, and no good. Missed the mark by Denzel Aberdeen, and the shot inside the key. Florida got it tipped back to them with Will Richard. Open 3 straight away off the front rim. No good by Thomas Hall, and Florida's really struggling converting on shots. Just 2 for 14 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3-point range, and Auburn with a 6-point lead controlling tempo so far. Auburn. Lob goes over inside the key, outside to the wing, catch and fire, 3, Donaldson off the rim short. The rebound controlled by the Gators. If Auburn's making their 3s, then this is a blowout right now. Florida hanging on in this game. Donaldson, great hustle play right there. Couldn't keep it in the court of play, though, out of bounds. Dangerous pass towards the midcourt logo off to Clayton. Very lucky it will stay Florida possession. Yeah, Florida's all out of sorts offensively right now. This Auburn team is just so balanced. Just top to bottom, they have a ton of balance on the team. Super deep. I think they're going to give a lot of teams a bunch of issues in the bracket for Auburn, because you got to be studying like 12, 13 guys before you go into the game against this Auburn team. If Auburn's able to get past that first round matchup, watch out for the second round matchup. Plus, you got a week to prepare for the Sweet 16 for Auburn. If they get past that, good chance to get to the Elite 8 for them too, because you only got 1 day to study Auburn trying to take out multiple players who could make plays. Away from the basketball, player went down for Auburn with Baker Mazzara. No call by the referees. Auburn has it with Broom. Broom, jab step of the wing. Janai Broom backs his way low block, working one-on-one. Broom, dish out to the right wing. Open three here to air for Auburn. No good. Came off the rim short by Chaney Johnson. And we got bodies flying all over the place right now in the hardwood here. It's Baker Mazzara again. He went down. This is going to lead to the timeout on the floor. Under 12 minutes left to go before halftime here, and we got bricks all over the place in this game. Man, Auburn has had the look so far. They just cannot make their shots from three. Florida, lucky that they're even hanging in. They cannot buy a bucket whatsoever. That's going to be charged to Baker Mazzara on the foul for Auburn. So this will be Florida basketball once we come back from the timeout. Yeah, Auburn is 5 for 15 shooting. Florida's 2 for 15 right now. Auburn's 1 for 6 from 3. Florida's 0 for 5 from 3. This is a very tough game to watch right now. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell if you guys would like to be notified for future live streams. I'll be back later today, selection show, 6 o'clock. Gonna start the stream off probably around 5:40. I got it scheduled in. Gonna do a lot of good breakdown stuff. We'll go through like the top seeds who possibly could be the top seeds. I see Iowa State sneaking in as the final #1 seed out of the West region, and then there's a lot of teams to discuss. I'll go over the bubble, who's on the bubble, or so, discuss some of the resumes with you guys. So we'll start off probably 20 minutes prior. This will only be so I usually cover the Big Ten. This year I decided not to because I have a lot of stuff to go to still get done throughout the course of the day for my other prep work for the week. So I'm just gonna have this conference tournament game covered for the championship, and then I'll be back for the Selection Sunday show. We'll start around 5:40, so about like 20 minutes prior. So that'll be good because it gets us like a head start, because last couple of years I started off at 6. It doesn't really help to build an audience though, if I start out like at the time that it starts out with Selection Sunday plus the Big Ten championship is going on. So it's a lot of chaos, like in recent years when I've covered like 3 streams in one day, going from the SEC to Big Ten and then Selection Sunday, and then I have to like find a time to like have lunch, have dinner, and then be able to work on other stuff too. Wow, what a comeback by Brown. 48-46, Brown leading Yale with under 7 left to go before half. So I would imagine Brown, if they do win this game, they would be a 16 seed play-in for Brown. That's what I would imagine right there. Wow, what a start for Duquesne. 24-9 Duquesne. Yeah, Duquesne's going to win it because VCU has one of the slowest tempo offenses in the nation for college basketball. I think Duquesne's going to get this. 15-point lead by Duquesne with 7.5 left to go in the first half. Duquesne searching for their first conference championship and first NCAA tournament bid since 1977 by Duquesne. Holy smokes. We got underdogs all over the place. Duquesne 23-11. Brown is 13-17. Brown was 6-17. They rallied off 7 straight wins in a row. The Browns looking for their first NCAA tournament bid since 1986. Unbelievable. That is just unbelievable. Back from the timeout right now. 6-point lead for Auburn. Florida with the basketball. This game's gone by snail's pace so far. Left to right on the floor for Florida. Walter Clayton moves out to the right wing. Thomas Hall back over to Clayton. Clayton looking to see if he can get something going. 2 points by 4 different players so far this game for Florida. Missed the shot by Haw. Off the back rim. A rebound controlled by Broom for Auburn. Up the floor here for Auburn. Aiden Holloway. They've been slowing down tempo as much as they're up in this game, controlling it so far for Auburn. 25 out of 26 wins by double-digit points. Up fake underneath. Jedi Broom puts it up and in. Scores for 2. That's the star player right there, number 4. 6 out of the 16 inside the low post. That's his first made field goal today from Broom. A transfer from Morehead State. All-conference first team SEC selection this season for Janai Broome. Low-key, a really good big man. They always have, like, good bigs that can block shots in this roster for Auburn. Walker Kessler a couple of years ago, floater inside off the dribble drive by Poland, and Auburn commits the foul. Only issue for Auburn is that they commit too many fouls. They average like 19 fouls per game, but when you go as deep as a team as Auburn does, it doesn't really affect you when you commit that many fouls. And so far today, they picked up their fifth, so they got 5. Florida's got 2 for personal fouls. This will send Zion Poland to the free throw line, 86% free throw shooter this season. The first one, no good, though. So Poland, a rare miss right there off the front rim, skidded out. Second shot coming up by Poland. And that's good. Really needed a point right there to get on the board. This has been a struggle for Florida right now, shooting 2 for 16 from the floor. And if they cannot get a shot, cannot make a shot, then this game's going to slip out of the way because Auburn eventually is going to find their way from 3. Broome takes the 3 over the cylinder, no good. That had the power, or it had the accuracy. It looked like just too strong, though, as it went over the rim. This has been just such a tough physical game so far. 7-point game currently. Florida feeling the pressure. Able to get that ball out. Spin move inside the key. Auburn's defense is swarming, able to force the tie up, and a 50-50 ball inside the key. Possession arrow will belong to Florida. There's just so many good defenders in this Auburn squad that they're making things extremely difficult for Florida to even get a shot off in this game right now. Florida dropped 102 against Alabama on Friday night. I think I got a lot of concerns more so for Alabama in this tournament, especially if they go up against a team like Samford in the first round, because they can score. They're one of the top offenses in the nation. All depends on the matchup that they get. Poland at the right block. Poland looking to pass it back out. He does. They're all bejumbled with this offense right here for Florida. Can't get anything going. Aldi almost lost control of the basketball, and we do have a foul picked up on the floor. Or no, it's going to be a shot clock violation, according to the officials. So Florida lost it, try to get it underneath an Auburn player, and that's a turnover committed by the Gators. Auburn forces the shot clock violation. Only 2 turnovers for both of these teams so far. Seems like there's like 5 or 6 more for Florida based on how they've been just struggling making shots off the screen. Broome rolls down to the bucket. Broome got the layup, not going to count it though, and he cannot believe it. The officials are going to wave it off. So the officials wave off Janai Broome's layup. Yeah, Iowa State's pretty darn good. Also, they're playing games that's kind of similar to home games, though. That T-Mobile Arena is 3 hours and 15 minutes away from Ames, Iowa, where they'll be playing their first round games over at Creighton's Arenas around like two hours plus from their on-campus site. Florida came up with a steal off the inbound, and they scored for the layup. That was the wrong outlet pass right there to the wrong player. 5-point game. Florida really needed that as easy as they could get it. Top of the key. Broome passes over to the elbow. Auburn dribbles back out to the corner. Here's a 3 right down the middle. They got it. Finally, somebody makes a 3. Chaney Johnson from downtown delivers for Auburn. 9:20 left to go in the first. Finally, this game's starting to pick up here with some buckets. Florida with a possession down low. They kept the dribble, but on the floor, they traveled with it. According to the referee, it's another first forced turnover by Auburn. Florida, when Auburn's defense gets set, they cannot buy a basket in this game. This is just so tough for defense. Tyree Samuel fell down in the middle of the key. Janai Broome, just excellent defense right there. They give you so many different looks for this Auburn team. They rotate in and out. I mean, this team's going to have no issues in the NCAA tournament when it comes down to, like, players getting gassed, because you got multiple players that can give you different looks and rest at different times. Janai Broome, off the spin, scores for 2 with a left-hand layup. Under 9 minutes left to go here before halftime. Broome has 8 out of the 21 so far. Florida stuck inside. Missed a wide open bucket underneath the hoop by Samuel. And physicality ramping up once again. Broome commits the shooting foul, though. And this will be 2 shots coming up at the free throw line. Yeah. I think Auburn has deep run potential. Here's something about Auburn is that I think they're super embarrassed how they went out last year. They lost against Houston in the second round, and they lost that game because they could not make free throws at all. Broome was horrendous last year at the free throw line, and this guy in the offseason really stepped up his game, and he's the top scorer right now in this entire game is Janai Broome. Tyrese Samuel, just a 56% free throw shooter, going to shoot 2 at the free throw line, and guess what? The first one's good. Yep, but Brown just all of a sudden might beat Yale. It's insane. This tournament's been crazy. Duquesne's out to a great start against VCU. Wouldn't be shocked to see Temple win later today against UAB. Unbelievable. Like, if you're on the selection committee, my prayers get sent to you because you're scrubbing lines every single minute, basically, in your life right now. Oh, man, I can only imagine what's going on, and it's not going to be good either because you can make a case for like 15 different bubble teams why they should be in the brackets. 8:40 left to go in the first. Auburn up by 8 with a possession, attacking inside, and they draw the foul committed by Florida. So 2 shots coming up here at the free throw line. Yeah, I got some worries about Tennessee coming into the NCAA tournament. If Dalton Connect can't get going offensively, then the other guy's going to have to step up. And what if they can't get going offensively? Their interior defense the last couple of games has really struggled. Like, they've been a top 10 defense this year for Tennessee, and then all of a sudden their defense has just trailed off the past few games in interior D. So, first one is good at the free throw line for Auburn. Florida commits their 4th. Auburn with 6. So, actually, the next time around, Florida will be in a bonus. Second free throw is good. 10-point lead for Auburn. Florida is down by 1 on the glass right now, 13-12. Auburn just committed a reach-in foul right there, so that's going to put them into the bonus. Bad foul committed by Denver Jones. Now, they got the graphic up here for the projected teams for Joe Lunardi. He's got Texas A&M in the last 4 buys. That's the most confusing team right there. It's Texas A&M. Yeah, that is shocking for NC State. They were a 10 seed out of the ACC. I think they could be a matchup nightmare for a smaller type of team in the tournament, like a smaller, less physical front court team. DJ Burns, that dude is an absolute tank. Like, if they go up against like a non-physical big man, then watch out. North Carolina State's going to win that game. They'll probably win at least one game in the bracket, most likely for NC State. I remember, I think it was 2012, they were an 11 seed in 2012. Nobody believed them, and they beat a 6 seed where everybody was so high on in the first round. So, like, people could not believe that. Euro step inside, Chaney Johnson, no good, off the top of the glass. Rebound control by Florida. Yeah, it's just incredible. They won 5 games in 5 straight days, plus they went into overtime against Virginia. The crazy part about it is that you needed a 3 to send it into overtime Friday night against Virginia, and they banked one in. Poland, dribble drive out to the mid-block, slides it over to Clayton, intercepted though by Baker Mazzara up the floor here as he takes the distance for 2 for the Tigers. 10-point lead for Auburn. There's the strong defense for Auburn, cashing in the buckets. They got 2 steals now today. Down to 7.5 left to go. Floater game. Tyrese Samuel connects on the floater. Back to an 8-point game. Samuel is 8 out of the 17 so far for the Gators. Top of the key, Auburn. Aiden Holloway. Off the screen set by Johnson. Pops out on top, though, over to Holloway once again. Shot clock down to 14. Holloway sends it off to his right, KD Johnson. Outside top of the key. Dribble drive upwards. Jumper mid-range. Got it. Number 31, Chaney Johnson. I think Florida thought that they were going to go inside off the dribble drive right there. They hadn't been able to show mid-range looks in this game, and good job. Nice touch right there with a mid-range. No good off the reverse hand layup down low by the Gators by Thomas Hogg. Got altered by Broom, and then up the floor. Auburn travel with it with Cheney Johnson. That's a turnover committed there for Auburn. 6:49 left to go here in the first. This game's going by like snail's pace so far right now. Been a physical game. Looks like we're going to take a timeout on the floor right now. So we will go to the timeout under 7 left to go in the first half. 27-17 Auburn. Alright, so if you're new on the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ring that notification bell if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams I cover. If anybody's interested, feel free to join in on the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge site as well. All you have to do is click the link, sign up for an ESPN account, and then click Join Group for this year's Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge. And I'll be back later today, 5:40 p.m. I'll be starting the Selection Sunday live stream, so feel free to join in. It will be announced Field of 68 at 6 o'clock later today. Got to see this Brown score right now. Wow, Brown's actually going to win this. Holy smokes. Brown was down by 10. I believe the score was 42-32. And now the score is Brown 54, Yale 46. Wow. Yale has pulled a gigantic Arizona. 2:15 left to go. And Brown is 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from going to their first NCAA tournament since 1986. That's insane. They were 6-17 at one point. And now if they win this game, they're going to be 14-17. That is unbelievable. I remember a month ago looking at the Ivy rankings to see how Brown was doing. I'm like, oh, let me just check up on the Ivy, see how Brown is doing. I'm like, oh, wow, they're at the bottom with Dartmouth. Once again, another lost season for Brown. Holy smokes, did they make a run up to the Final Four to Ivy to get a bid? Upset Princeton, who had 3 losses entering today's game. Put up 90 against Princeton, and then they're just above 2 minutes left to go from going to their first NCAA tournament bid since 1986. That is just incredible. Unbelievable. 54-48, 2:15 left to go, Brown with a lead. The other team is Duquesne. They haven't been to the tournament in a long time. Duquesne is shredding VCU right now, 36-22. Final minute left to go before halftime in that game. Duquesne's looking to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1977. That's crazy. Yeah, that's very odd. They brought in both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the Pittsburgh. It's very, very odd why they would do that. Just random. So I'm kind of confused by that now too. If they're planning on Wilson being like the quarterback for half the year, Fields being the quarterback for half the year, yeah, that's just very random right there. Wilson is kind of getting towards more so the edge of his career right now, but I mean, he's not like grooming a first-year quarterback. That's the thing. I mean, he's been a vet in the NFL for years. It's very odd. So back from the timeout right now, 6:40 left to go before halftime. Florida with the possession, down by 10. Just 2 total assists this entire game by Florida, and they almost got a turnover there. They were on the inside the key, downwards with a basketball. Somehow they floated it up inside the key and was able to score with Thomas Haw. 8-point game right now. That's a saving possession there by Florida. All the Florida possessions have been just bad. Like Like, they're just out of sorts offensively right now. Credit to Auburn's defense. I mean, Auburn is just such a good defensive team. Cardwell hands it off to Donaldson. Donaldson swings it out to the left wing. Baker Mazzara dribbles inside baseline with a Euro step, no good. Putback chance, a lot of bodies colliding. And Jalen Williams appeared to hurt his hand on the play there, trying to get the putback, and he's a little slow and hobbled to get up. Jalen Williams shaking off the pain right now. Still got 6 minutes left to go before halftime. What a first half here. Dragging and dragging and dragging. 2 shots by Baker Mazzara. First one's good. Second shot by Baker Mazzara, right down the middle. 10-point lead. That's basically been the range, is like 8 to 10 in this first half right now. Florida just can't close the gap. Florida cannot make shots. 5 for 20 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3-point range. They got 9, almost more than half of their points almost have come at the free throw line. 90%, 9 for 10. Florida almost lost it, dribbling around the perimeter. Thomas Haw towards his left around the outside. Shot clock's down to 8. You got to get a shot off there at the edge of the midcourt logo here for Florida. Denzel Aberdeen, a lot of dribbling. 29-footer, way off the mark, no good, as Auburn collects the rebound with his shot clock down to 1. Tigers with it, pushing tempo. Outlet pass, too tall. Off the hands of Cardwell. That's a turnover. That was well behind in the outlet sent by Donaldson. 5th turnover of the game by Auburn, 4 by Florida right now. Wow, has this been a strange game or what? Florida has possession. VCU is down by 14 against Duquesne at halftime, 36 to 22. Bounce pass trying to thread the needle for a backdoor cutter. Intercepted by Auburn. Up the floor, here goes Donaldson. Donaldson, kick out, corner, open 3. Baker Mazzara, no good. Halfway down, battle for the rebound. Who's got it? Tipping it off the glass. Auburn comes down with it, poke loose to the quarter. Still able to come away with it with the Tigers. They'll slow down the possession. Under 5 minutes left to go before halftime. Trey Donaldson down to 8 on the shot clock here, just 2 for 9 from the perimeter for Auburn. Cardwell passes, wide open, nice dime down low. Couldn't finish, but got fouled though. 2 shots coming up by KD Johnson at the free throw line for Auburn. That was a great pass there by Baker Mazzara at the top of the key. That was actually Cardwell, number 44. Yeah, Cardwell. Baker Mazzara was the one who missed the 3 at the corner. He had a pretty good look at it, too. So, KD Johnson, 2 shots here, 78% free throw shooter this season, makes the first one. Excellent game by Auburn at the free throw line so far, 7 for 7. Florida's 9 for 10 as well. Both of these teams getting their free throws. Luckily, for Florida, that they're not Virginia, because if Auburn was playing Virginia right now in this game, it would be probably 30 to 5 at the moment, based on how Virginia could not make free throws in their last game against NC State and throughout the course of the season. Second free throw is good. 12-point lead here for the Tigers. Gators needing something offensively. They're just all out of sorts. Pass off the roll down. Huge rejection by Dylan Cardwell as he denies Thomas Haw on a slam dunk attempt right there with the right hand. Open 3 out the wing. Off the mark, no good. Misfired by KD Johnson. Auburn try to save it right into the front row of the announcing crew as he dives right over the seats into the laptop there, sitting on the front row of an announcing crew over one of the Behringer mixers. Holy smokes, we got a game right now. Prayers for that laptop there and mixer for the laptop crew if they're able to get their radio or TV broadcast up and going once again. But that probably pulled some wires down, flying right into a seat of monitors in the front row there by a player from Auburn. Holy moly. 12-point lead for the Tigers. Florida has the ball just above 4 minutes left to go before halftime. Dylan Cardwell with 2 blocks. Massive one just a moment ago. Top of the free throw circle, Alex Condon for Florida. Hands it off to Pullen. Pullen looking for something. Rises for the jumper. And it's going to be charged to Auburn on a foul. That's going to be number 8 reaching in. Bonus time for Florida. Chad Baker-Mazzara, his second personal foul. Florida right now with their foul trouble, it's just Will Richard. He has 2. Auburn's put 10 different guys on the floor right now. They have 1 personal foul in between 8 different players currently in this game. So Cardwell will have to head back to the bench. He had a massive block a couple moments ago. Brown is leading Yale with 23 seconds left, 60-56. Free throw is good. At the line by Poland, makes the first one in the bonus. Second shot by Poland, right down the middle. 31-21, 4 minutes left to go before half. Yeah, they go usually like 12 or 13 guys deep. They lead the nation for major conference teams in bench points. Off a double team, tough shot floated up by Auburn. No good, no call by the referees as Jalen Williams floated up a wild shot. Tons of contact right there, but referees didn't make the call, and that will be a lot of contact off the dribble. That should be offensive foul right there, charged to Florida. Out of control with the basketball. We're going to take a timeout on the floor. Yeah, Katie Johnson, what a hustle play right there. And Will Richard turned it over down the far side of the floor. This will go back to Auburn after the timeout. 3:42 left to go before halftime. This game is moving by slow right now as we head to the timeout. Wow. This is just snail's pace for a game today. Mikey in the stream, welcome in. Let's get the update of that Brown-Yale game currently going on. Just wild. Losing record teams, all these upsets. Brown leads 61-60 over Yale with 14 seconds left to go. Oh, this is pretty cool. I can do multi-view on my TV to watch, like, what's going on. I'll be covering the Selection Sunday live stream as well, so feel free to join in later today. Going to get it started around 5:40 p.m. The brackets will be announced starting at 6 p.m. later today for Selection Sunday. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell if you like to be notified here for future live streams. This has been just a physical game. Bodies flying everywhere. Hockey from home, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. $61-60 right now. We're in a timeout currently between Auburn and Florida, but Brown leads Yale with 14.6 seconds left to go. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, Celtics should be able to roll to a win tonight in that game. They're facing Washington. They have a chance to go on a massive win streak. I don't know what's going on in this Brown-Yale game because the camera is so far back in the gym that people with their heads are blocking where the basketball is spotted, but it looks like Yale committed a reach-and foul with 10.7. This will send Brown to the free throw line with 10.7 seconds left to go. Yeah, where they have the camera located in the gym. They're playing the Ivy League tournament this year in Columbia. They had a camera all the way back behind the fans. They have fans standing up, so they got some of the fans' heads blocking the camera right now because the entire crowd is standing up, and Brown missed the first free throw. Yeah, the Celtics are going to go on a big run. They should. So here we go. 3:42 back to action in just a moment in the first half. We'll keep you posted with the Brown-Yale game. Brown just missed the front end and missed the second one too. Inside a double bonus. Yale has a chance to win right now with 6 seconds, and they burn the timeouts. Florida just got the bucket inside for 2, plus the foul. So Thomas Hall will shoot 1 coming up at the free throw line. He got fouled. Yale for the win. Yes, they did at the buzzer over Brown. Somebody forgot to guard at the low block, and Yale just won. Final score 62-61. Unbelievable. Wow. Yale just got a buzzer beater to win. Jumper here at the elbow. Swoosh for Auburn by Trey Donaldson. We'll see if that happens to Temple later today. It's below 500 for their record. Florida with the ball. 3 minutes left to go before halftime. Gators have the possession at the top of the key. Thomas Haw torches right around the perimeter. Bounce pass. Goes over to Alex Condon. Looking to move it back to a cutter, but Auburn playing solid defense, preventing that from happening. Inside off the dribble drive underneath. No good. A tip in. Falls into the bucket for 2 for the Gators, though. Florida starting to get into a little bit of a run right now in this game, down to just above 2.5 left to go. Broom sends it off to the wing into the hands to Baker Mazzara. Baker Mazzara floats up a shot at the baseline. Rolled around the rim and out. Battle for the rebound. Offensive rebound. Chaney Johnson with a poor decision underneath, decide to pass it instead of going into a layup motion from point blank range. Here goes Florida to the rim. No good. It gets shoved in though for the putback. The Gators start to up their run right now. Alex Condon off the miss. Thomas Haw with a right-handed flush off the putback. 33-28. Final 2 minutes left to play before halftime. Finally start to get into a little bit of a rhythm here in this game until a whistle gets blown right there. Charge to Florida, reaching in by Will Richard on a personal foul. So 1:53 left to play before half, and this is part of a 9-2 run by the Gators. This will send Auburn into the 1-on-1 bonus shooting at the free throw line. What an incredible bounce pass right before the buzzer for Yale. They needed every single second. They got every single second out of the clock, and they won at the buzzer. And an easy buzzer beater, too. It was at the low block underneath. Just wide open shot, and they were able to win. So congratulations to Yale, record of 22-9, winning the Ivy League over Brown, who came into the game 13-17 for their record. First free throw is good by Auburn. Auburn doing a solid job today making free throws. That was not the case a year ago in the second round against Houston. They got bounced out because they couldn't buy a free throw. 10 for 10 at the free throw line for Auburn right now. Chad Baker-Mazzara, perfect 3 for 3, has 8 points. Second one, no good. So that's the first free throw missed today of the game by Auburn. Gators cross the timeline. Zion pulling, bounce past top of the key. Haw moves it out to the right wing. Clayton drives inside. Clayton had it blocked, got stripped of it. Here goes Auburn off the turnover. Katie Johnson up the floor, burst of speed, soars up at the rim. He gets blocked though from the side, out of bounds by Haw. What a game here between these two teams. Excellent defense on both sides of the floor in this bloodbath. 1:34 left to play. First half. Players had to get separated. Things getting real chippy right now. Katie Johnson just downhill burst. And he got rejected. That was a big block there by Haw from the back. Yeah, after the play, things got really chippy. Some pushing and shoving. Haw jammed his body right into Baker Mazzara, and then Broom had his hands on Haw's body with his hands going up right there, and the referees had to separate it. So they're going to the monitor right now to look at this right here to see if there's any excessive flagrants on the play, as the big boys were making contact with one another just a moment ago. Eric in the street, welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, it doesn't shock me. Bucks beating the Suns right now. Bucks have been playing real well recently. Kenny on the channel, welcome in. Taking Auburn. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win this one today. Auburn or Florida for the SEC Championship. If you're doing the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell if you'd like to be notified for future live streams as well on the channel. Duquesne leads right now at halftime over VCU 36-22. Yale just won at the buzzer over Brown 62-61. Brown had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left to go and choked on it after Yale had a 10-point lead to start off the second half. And Yale was able to win at the buzzer. So this will be an inbound underneath for Auburn. So nothing excessive there by both teams. Things getting real chippy in this game. It's been like that from the start. Auburn underneath gets the inbound out to the baseline. Chris Moore. Chris Moore passes down low. Turnaround left-handed hook shot goes through for Jalen Williams with a bucket. 8-point lead now for the Tigers. Minute 20 left to go before halftime. Gators have possession. Top of the key, Alex Condon, 6'11". Big man from Perth, Australia. Dribbles towards his right, hands it over to Walter Clayton. Pass off the roll down underneath. There goes Condon as he scores backdoor with a layup. Final minute left to play to close it out in the first half. Crossing midcourt with Trey Donaldson. At the left corner, Katie Johnson floats the pass out. Top of the key, Janai Broom. Broom around the perimeter, slowing down clock right here. Broom guarded by Condon. Broom off the jab step, looking to pass it off. Broom dribbles up. Broom drives inside. Broom left hand over Condon. He scores. Tough bucket right there. Inside the low post for Janai Broom. 8-point lead for the Tigers. Here goes Florida with it. Looking to push tempo. Top of the key. Thomas Haw moves it out to the left wing. Riley Krugel, number 2, out to the corner with Walter Clayton, who jacks up a 3, came off rim short. Offensive rebound, Thomas Haw. Handoff, Clayton, and Clayton drives on Broom. Clayton, tough shot over Broom, no good. Tipped up, Broom collects the rebound. Outlet pass ahead, Auburn able to keep track of it. Auburn at the rim, soared up with a big rejection made by Thomas Haw there for Florida. Final 5 seconds left to go before halftime. Huge rejection right there by Johnny Broom. Right before the buzzer we go into halftime. It's 38 Auburn, 30 Florida. Holy smokes right there. This is a block fest right now. Janai Broom, get that out of there. Huge rejection. First half, wow. If you like physicality, you like 80s, 90s basketball in the NBA, this looks certainly like one of those games in 2024 in the college day in the SEC championship right now. Wow. Gonna tally up the blocks here on the stat board once we get as we're going into halftime. Holy smokes, it is a block fest between these two teams. Big guys bouncing bodies all over the floor. Bodies are falling down left and right. I mean, this is as tough and physical as it comes. This brand of basketball here. We go into halftime. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell to be notified for future live streams. Make sure to check out the Selection Sunday live stream. I'll be doing my reaction starting 20 minutes before the bracket reveal at 5:40 p.m. going through the entire bubble, all the bubble teams, how their records stand, best wins, worst losses, the top projected seeds, some of the other teams in the bracket, potential sleepers you're not going to want to miss Some good analysis, good breakdown coming up around 5:40 p.m. for my Selection Sunday live reactions. We'll have the bracket reveal starting off at 6 o'clock. Auburn has 6 total blocks in the first half. Janai Broome has half of those. 3 blocks by Broome. 1 block each between Jalen Williams. He's got 1. And then 2 blocks by Dylan Cardwell today. And then Florida, 5 blocks as a team. 2 blocks by Alex Condon. 1 block each between Will Richard, Zion Poland, and also Haw as well. This has been just a block fest game. 11 total blocks combining for in the first half. Auburn shot the ball 38% from the floor. Still, they have an 8-point lead, scoring 38 points, despite shooting just 2 for 10 from the perimeter, 13 for 33 from the floor. They're 10 for 11 at the free throw line. They racked up 4 steals. Florida has shot the ball worse by 10 percentage points. 9 for 32, 0 for 7 from 3 for Florida right now in this game, and it's all defense. It's not like these teams are bricking open shots. It's like these guys are playing physical, contesting everything, guys flying around, closing out left and right. I mean, this is looking like an NBA game back from the 90s or so, when the scores were in the 80s and 90s. This isn't today's modern day NBA where everybody's shooting a 3 and you got teams making 15, 20, 25 threes in a game, shooting 40, 45, 50% from 3 in an NBA game with no defense, like that All-Star game from last month where we had over 200 on the board. 62-61. Congratulations to Yale on a buzzer beater game winner. They'll be advancing to the NCAA tournament. Crusher for Brown. Brown was looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1986. They blew an 8-point lead with 2:15 left to go against Yale after being down by 10 at one point. The Duquesne Dukes are leading right now at halftime over VCU, 38-23. Actually, that game has started off the second half, so we're just momentarily in halftime here. That game started off at the same time as Duquesne VCU, the A-10 championship, and that game is going in, and that game has already started off the first 2 minutes of the second half right now. 38-23 Duquesne. Duquesne looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977. They started off 16-0 in 2020 and then started to lose games for Duquesne due to a super easy schedule early on. But wow, what a day of college basketball we have out here. If anybody's interested in joining the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge, feel free to do so. I'll post the link in the chat. All are welcome to join in. It is totally free. All you have to do is click the link, sign up for an ESPN account if you don't already have one, and then click Join Group to be a part of this year's Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group. Hey, what's good? Vaughn in the stream. Welcome in. Yeah, Florida needs to get into some sort of rhythm offensively. They got no rhythm at all right now. Yeah, it's basically impossible to do a perfect bracket. There'll probably be another 15 seed that upsets a 2, honestly. That's just so crushing for Brown. Like, you're up by 8 with 2:15 left, and you couldn't be able to put them away. We'll see if that Big Ten curse keeps on happening once again. I think very well there's a good shot at the Big Ten curse that it's going to happen once again this year. So here's the Big Ten curse right here. So this is some pretty bad news here, especially for Wisconsin and Illinois, who's playing against each other later today in the final conference tournament game before Selection Sunday, before the brackets get announced. Wisconsin, in the last 11 games entering the Big Ten tournament, was 3-8. After COVID, the last 3 Big Ten tournament championship teams, at least one of those teams, has lost in the first round or second round of the NCAA tournament and missed the second weekend. So these are the teams that went to the Big Ten tournament championship. This is how they fared out in the previous 3 tournaments after COVID. 2021, Illinois lost against Loyola Chicago as a 1 seed. They won the Big Ten championship with Ayo Dosunmu in 2021. They lost in the second round to Loyola Chicago as a 1 seed. That was in the 1-8 matchup. And then Ohio State took Illinois to overtime in the Big Ten championship in 2021. Ohio State lost against Oral Roberts, the 15 seed, in the 2021 NCAA tournament. Fast forward to 2022, Iowa won the Big Ten championship. They were a 5 seed in the bracket. They lost in the first round against Richmond. And then Purdue, they lost against Iowa in the Big Ten championship. They lost against the 15 seed St. Peter's in the Sweet 16. Last season, Purdue won the Big Ten championship, lost against the 16 seed FDU in the first round, and then Penn State, they made a miraculous run all the way to the Big Ten championship game, and they lost in the second round to Texas as a 10 seed for Penn State. They made this incredible late surge to be a part of the bracket. That's not like an upset right there because they weren't expected to take down Texas. They did take down Texas A&M in the first round. I actually was one of the people that had Texas A&M winning that game in the first round last year over Penn State. And Penn State in a night game, it was like a 9:50 tip-off, destroyed Texas A&M last year in a 10-7. Ian, what's good? Welcome to the stream, man. Hope all is going well. If you guys are new, feel free to join in on the Behind Your Basketball Bracket Challenge group once again for this year. And we'll see what happens for this tournament. But wouldn't it shock me if we see a 15 seed at least get upset by a 2? I was talking to one of the guys that I work with, and I was telling him if there's a 2 seed that's going to lose in the first round, it's either going to be probably Arizona or Tennessee, in my opinion, for this year. Arizona, they just have lacked effort from time to time, and they blew a 14-point lead against Oregon on Friday night, lost that game, and it's been a couple head scratchers for them, same as last year, like entering the tournament when they lost to Princeton. And then also Tennessee, if they can't get any scoring after Dalton Knecht, if Knecht goes absolutely cold, then you're going to have to rely on other teammates to step up, and their interior defense has been off lately. In the last week, I was going through like an analytics search for Tennessee. Their 2-point defense is in the 300s. In the last week, it was never like that until this week. And that's with a snapshot of like the last 4 or 5 games going back to the start of the month. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats there, graduating with your degree for Ian. That's awesome, man. That's great, working on a podcast right now. Congrats, man. Yeah, I really don't think PC is going to make it in. It's unfortunate. Jeffrey, welcome in. It's too bad because Temple beat FAU. Everything went wrong that needed to go right for Providence. Even if Wisconsin wins the Big Ten championship today, I still don't think they're going to make it in for Providence. They're holding on to that double-digit win over Wisconsin for them. But by that time, once the Big Ten championship game wraps up, the brackets have already been locked. Like the tournament committee, they're basically deciding at-large teams. Like last night and right now, basically they have at-large teams decided by. They're not gonna be switching teams after that Big Ten championship results. The NIT looks like it could very well be worth watching this year, honestly, because there's so many deserving teams. Like this year's bubble is super strong. There's so many deserving teams this year, and the odd part about it is there's a lot of weak teams over on the 5 and 6 line this year, 5, 6, and 7 line. There's some weaker upper seeds this year. This is as bad as like probably like a 5, 6, and 7 line that we might see with some of these teams this year. Yeah, just devastating for Brown, too. Lost by 1. They had an 8-point lead with 2:15 left. Yeah, I think Indiana State's in a tough situation, too, for them, unfortunately. So I think they're going to go to the NIT, probably, with them either. Here's my bold prediction, is that Oklahoma is going to miss the tournament outright for Oklahoma. I think they're going to miss the tournament. They don't have any signature wins for them. They're 4-12 in quad 1. They're 2-6 in their last 8 games, and their best win is BYU. They lost against UCF. They don't have many good wins to their resume for Oklahoma. They're 20-12, net ranking of 46. So I think a lot of people are overthinking Oklahoma in the brackets. I think they're out. A lot of bracketologists have them in. Also, Michigan State's looking like they're going to be in a playing game probably. 19-14. They might honestly be out for them. 3-9 in the quad 1. Florida Atlantic is the team that I'm real concerned upon. I've never been high at them at all. They have a quad 3 loss. They got 2 quad 4 losses. Lost against Bryant. Lost against Florida Gulf Coast. Lost against Charlotte. Lost against UAB. Memphis, which just crashed down second half of the year. And then Temple. They lost yesterday, which came into the game 15-19. And holding on to that double overtime victory over Arizona as like their saving piece for them for FAU. And then a win over Texas A&M they have as well. But they got 2 quad 4 losses, 25-8 record. They have a worse record than South Florida, and they're still considered in the bracket because people are hanging high to their Final Four run from last year for FAU. Like, they're so lucky that they didn't lose that game against UTSA that went into overtime. They won so many close games for them this year. So many close games that they happened to win. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you got Temple with a 16-19 record is playing for their conference championship later today. This is just crazy. Like, I've never seen the back end of the NCAA tournament be this bad in terms of records. Like with some of these teams, like Wagner, who's probably going to be in a play-in game for them. They're 1 game above 500 as a 16 seed. There's so many 1 seeds that went down. I think there was like 19 or 21 seeds that went down total for conference regular season champions that lost. That, like, some of these seeds that won were like 5 and 6 seeds. In other conferences, you had NC State as a 10 seed that won. Like, teams that came out of nowhere. Duquesne's a 6, playing for right now leading VCU a 5 in the A10. It's just crazy. Yes, I'll be streaming my live reactions at 6 o'clock. Sleepers. Some of the mid-major teams are real good. The mid-major teams that crushed their opponent in the conference championship game, I think those teams could be sleepers with like 3 or 4 losses. You got McNeese State as a big-time bracket crusher, looking like in the tournament. They're top 25 in multiple categories in the nation. They're top 3 in steals for McNeese State. James Madison's another one that's top 30, bunch of categories in the nation for them, 3 losses as well. And then I watched a little bit of that Grand Canyon game yesterday. Those guys play hard. They have just 4 losses on the season. They ran away with it in the second half for Grand Canyon. They're top 5 in the nation in free throw attempts. They're aggressive. They just keep on attacking their opponent and put them into foul trouble. So those are a couple teams that can bust people's brackets for like some of the smaller schools. I like Oregon too to win at least a game in the NCAA tournament. Dana Altman hasn't. He's led his team to 7 first-round victories at Oregon. I like Oregon, whoever they play, to win the first-round game, and then I'll look to see if whoever they face in the round of 32, if they should go to the Sweet 16. But I like them at least to pick off one opponent in the opening rounds. Seems like deja vu to 2019 all over again with that Oregon team. Here we go. Second half begins. Auburn takes a deep 3. They nail it. As we start off the second half of action, I'm thinking I'm in the NBA right now because I usually been covering a lot of those games at second right now instead of 3, instead of quarters. As that's good. It's 41-30. Big time Jay sent down from the top right there for the Tigers, and Johnny Broome almost came up with a steal. It's Aiden Holloway who just made the 3. Tyree Samuel moves it out to the wing as Florida attacks inside the paint. They got the layup. +1 coming up at the free throw line for Zion Pullen. That's a big basket right there. They were all out of sorts in the first half offensively. Johnny Broome thought that Florida would pull in here, got away with a push-off, but the referees called a foul picked up by Broome on the floor. He had his arm stretched out wide right there. Yeah, I was talking about how there's some weak 5-6 seeds this year compared to other years. So, I think they got a good chance. Probably like BYU or Clemson possibly. If Clemson still gets a 6, they're looking like a 7. I think they dropped the seed line since they got crushed against BC. Auburn has the ball at the wing, out on top over to Broome. Broome going to take the 3 straight away. No good. Around the rim and out. Rebound control for Florida. Florida has it with Clayton. Clayton attacks inside the paint with a left hand. Got fouled. A lot of fouls here early on in the first minute, too. It was by Auburn. No, so they should not expand the tournaments. I'd like to see all the conference winners, though, no matter like a 16 seed. I would like to see all the conference winners get put in the field without playing a play-in game. And then that would open up for more play-in games for at-larges. So it would give like an opportunity more to at-larges for a play-in game and place solid 16s in the field for whoever those like back-end mid-majors are that win their conference championship. Both of the free throws go down by Clayton. They've shot the ball exceptionally well today at the free throw line for Florida. 14 for 15 right now at the free throw line for the Gators as we're through the opening minute in the second. Yes, I have a game this Wednesday for lacrosse, so I won't be streaming on Wednesday. Jumper, mid-range, step back, got it for 2 by Denver Jones. 8-point advantage. It's been between 8 and 10 throughout the course of this game mostly, but Florida sneaking it, winning 6 as a late going up quick up the floor, getting the layup. Zion Pullen leading his way up to 12 points right now for the Gators. Crossing midcourt with Auburn, Aiden Holloway sends it off to the wing to Baker Mazzara. Bounce pass, low block, Broome, skip pass, right corner. Jones steps into a 3 off the mark, no good. A rebound pulled down by Clayton. Clayton has it up the floor, passing in transition. Pullen trying to throw it down. Bodies collide. Huge rejection right there as we get a player seriously down for Auburn with Jalen Williams head first on the hardwood. So we have to stop time with 18:09 left to go before the end of this one. Holy smokes. They're going to count the bucket there by Florida, too. Off the putback. Jalen Williams down head first. Tough man. Good to see. He's up and he's all right. Let's see here the replay. Clayton took it in transition. They tried to throw down a monstrous dunk. Number 0, Zion pulling in transition off the pass by Clayton. And Williams tried to go up for the block and Williams got a piece of the basketball, and then Poland's body fell on top of Williams as Williams face planted down in the hardwood. Holy smokes. Yeah, Celtics should definitely win tonight and tomorrow for sure. No Celtic streams this week. I'll be back probably the following week. I got a lot of college stuff to go over. More important with these college games right now. The NBA can wait till the playoffs. That's a steal there by Florida. Walter Clayton inside the key. Floats to the runner. Connects on it. It's only a 2-point game. 43-41. This is a resilient bunch for the Gators right now. Down their big man, Micah Hand-Logden, got injured, carted off in a stretcher in the second minute of this game. They were down by 10, and now they're down by 2. Auburn looking to get their offense back in order here. At the right wing perimeter, Denver Jones. Jones, step back jumper, deep 2, off the mark, no good. Tipped out of bounds. It's the last touch by the Gators. 17-20 left to go. What a game here, folks. If you're new on the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well. Auburn 1 for 3 shooting from 3 so far in the second half. They made the first 3-point shot. They've missed the previous 2. Bounce pass over to Broom. Broom powers his way off a double team. Oh, nice dive down low with an assist right there by Johnny Broom. It's Chris Moore cutting backdoor to the hoop, scores with a layup. 4-point lead for Auburn. Auburn not used to playing close games. Their lone victory by single digits came in the last game over Mississippi State. Florida rains the 3. Walter Clayton Jr. delivers in the triple. 1-point game. 25 out of their 26 victories have come from double digits. For Auburn this season, dribble drive down the lane inside. Miss layup no good. Off the mark by Holloway. Florida with a chance to take the lead right here, right now with this possession for the Gators. Despite shooting 1 for 8 from 3-point range, they missed the floater inside a key off the back rim, no good. They trailed as many by 12 so far today. Denver Jones, floater inside, off the front rim, had an open opportunity right there. Couldn't cover by Denver Jones as it goes back to the Gators. Clayton. Bounce pass, it gets sailed on top, attacking inside the paint. Samuel missed off the glass, no good. Offensive rebound, Condon. Condon gets tied up. And possession arrow on the floor will go to Florida. What a game here. 16-11 left to go in half 2. Florida is right now in this one. Outscoring Auburn 14-7 in the second quarter. Already 14 points in the first 3 minutes and 49 seconds for the Gators. This is a very dangerous 6th seed in the bracket that everybody should keep an eye out for. Incredible adjustments made by the Gators and Todd Golden at halftime. This offense was looking like they were walking on molasses in the first half, and here they are making cuts of the hoop. Condon, no good, got it blocked by Cardwell. Auburn with possession. The physicality by Auburn has not worn down Florida so far. Florida, a resilient bunch. Thought about a step back. Bounce pass down low. Holloway swings it on top. Here's an open 3. Cheney, no good off the mark. Missed off the front rim by Cheney Johnson. The rebound controlled by Florida. And a loose ball foul picked up in the backcourt charge to Chris Moore for Auburn. That's Auburn's 4th personal foul in the second half. Florida with 0. Lucky for Auburn is that they're the deepest team in America this season for college basketball. 3 personal fouls picked up between Baker Mazzara and Cheney Johnson with his 3rd. 3 personal fouls by Will Richard today for the Gators. We take the timeout on the floor. 15:48 left to play in the second half here. Anybody's game. Florida down by 12 has come back. They trail by 1. What a game right now. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ring that notification bell if you'd like to be notified here for future live streams I cover. I cover basketball action on the channel, play-by-play. Both college hoops and NBA. We'll be back later today. I'll be covering my Selection Sunday live reaction stream to the NCAA Tournament Selection Show. We're going to start off at 5:40 p.m. Great analysis awaiting you guys with breakdowns and a bunch of different teams on who's in the cut line, who's not, or who's looking like they're going to be going into the NIT. I'll go over some of the resumes with you guys starting at around 5:40 later today, and then we'll get to the Selection Sunday show at around 6. A lot of question marks going into this bracket. We know The top 3 seeds in this particular order, I would expect UConn, the overall number 1, the defending champions, and then Purdue losing by just 1 in OT yesterday over Wisconsin, and then Houston got smashed against Iowa State, sending them back to the 3rd overall seed. Those 3 seeds are not going to have to battle for regions because they got their own region, which in other years it's usually a battle between regions for some of the teams. UConn will be in the East. UConn doesn't need to get on the plane until the Final Four when they head out to Arizona. So UConn has got games back in Brooklyn. So they got Brooklyn for the first round in the round of 32. And then after that, they got Sweet 16, Elite 8 for UConn will be in Boston at the TD Garden. After that, Purdue will be in Indianapolis, which they're playing the conference tournament there for the Big Ten. So Purdue will be in Indy. And then we'll be in Detroit out in the Midwest region. Houston should be in the South region playing games in Memphis and then in Dallas in their home state for the Sweet 16 in the Elite 8. And then the final 1 seed will be out west. So if that's Iowa State, we'll have to see. But whoever that final 1 seed will play out west for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 in Los Angeles. Iowa State is going to be playing games, it looks like, in Creighton's arena in the Omaha pod. So Iowa State, they win home games. They're undefeated at home. They're 3 hours away from T-Mobile Arena. They won the Big 12 championship yesterday. That's basically a home game. That's like if the PC Friars showed up to like the Lakes region of New Hampshire by bus to play a game over in like Laconia, over in the Lakes region of New Hampshire, or like up in North Conway. That's basically like the same thing as Iowa State playing games over in T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City. Houston had a 10-hour trip for like a 10-hour drive, much shorter for a flight there to get to T-Mobile Arena, and then it's less than 3 hours. I think it's like 2.5 to get to Creighton's home arena for Iowa State. So those are basically like home games once again for them until they get to Los Angeles for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 if they do get that final 1 seed over North Carolina. North Carolina will be playing games in Charlotte. Should be a big advantage to them as well. Yeah, that's one of the keys. I look at the bracket too, basing on determining times as well. To see like who's out west that's from like the opposite area. That's some of the keys that I determined in my bracket. I remember Seton Hall played against TCU in like a 10-25 tip-off game a couple of years ago in a 9-8 matchup, and Seton Hall got smashed. That game didn't finish until like 1 a.m. Like they got smashed. There was a game out west. That was in Arizona's pod. That was I think it took place like in Spokane or something. It was in Arizona, was in TCU's grouping. That was the Benedict Mathurin year. And then TCU destroyed Seton Hall, which was playing games on the opposite side of the coast. But last year, Penn State shocked me. Penn State played out west, and it was a late game, and they upset Texas in the first round. So we'll see. Inbound here for Florida. Florida only down by 1. Carly, they take a 3, looking for the lead. Off the mark, no good. They cannot make a 3 in this game. They save it, though. Oh, he got intercepted. Auburn with a big steal. Taking it the distance. They score. Up and in off the backboard with a layup. Oh, what a difference right there. Florida with a Jimmy Butler type of save back in the bubble in 2020, but it was thrown to the wrong player, and Chris Moore picked it off, took it a distance. Under 15 minutes left to go. Clayton, top of the key. Bounce pass to his right, into the hands to Thomas Haw. Haw hands it off around the perimeter over to Poland. Poland, baseline dribble. Poland with position. Poland, blocked from behind. Not clean, though. It's called on Jalen Williams on the personal foul. 14:37 left to go. 2 more free throws coming up here at the line by Florida. Bruce Pearl's livid right now. He thought it was a clean block right there by Jalen Williams, but the referees called it not. Jalen Williams picks up that's his first for today. It's Chaney Johnson. He's got 3. Baker Mazzara has 3. Actually, my graphic is wrong. He's got 3 right now. So the graphic was, Yeah, it was updated right there in the stats. So Jalen Williams does have 3 right now for personal fouls. I was looking at the block line right there. So Jalen Williams, Chad Baker-Mazara, and Cheney Johnson all with 3. This is a super deep Auburn team, nevertheless. And Florida goes empty at the free throw line all game long. They've been making free throws, and then they just went 0 for 2. That trip at the free throw stripe. Top of the key, Cardwell, handoff. Here's a 3, edge of the logo. They got it. Trey Donaldson, bang, bang. Top of the key, drills the 3 for Auburn. It's been very few 3s today, but that's a big one. Donaldson with the interception. Up the floor, 3-on-2 with a 2-handed flush. Sending it home by Denver. Jones with a dunk. A timeout taken on the floor by the Gators. Auburn. Hustle play after a hustle play after a hustle play. And then a 3-point shot. They got all the momentum right now. Florida down by 12. Cut it to 1. They couldn't ever take the lead in this game right now, though. And Auburn shut the door once again with some great hustle plays. These guys are just so tough and physical. And finally, the 3-point shot went down for the Tigers. Entire starting 5 has scored. 4 other players off the bench have scored. It's going to be tough for teams to match up against this team in the bracket, considering they got 12 or 13 guys that they throw at you that give you different sort of looks here and can play different sort of roles in the offense and defense. All two-way players on the team as well. As we got a great balanced Auburn squad here. They're just 4 for 15 from 3, but that was a massive 3 just a moment ago to put themselves out to an 8-point lead. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you'd like to be notified here for future live streams on the schedule, make sure to join in for my Selection Sunday live stream. We'll be starting off around 5:40 p.m. later today. Bracket reveal will take place at 6 p.m. $10 points by Janai Broom, leading Auburn. After that, 8 points by Chad Baker-Mazara. And then 7 each between Holloway and Moore right now. It's 12 points by Zion Poland, the top scorer for Florida. This Florida team has been on a second-half surge, playing out of their minds lately for the Gators. And Auburn keeps on silencing Florida throughout the course of this game. Quick update in the A-10. Duquesne is starting to blow open a lead right now. VCU cutting into it 40-34 with 7:40 left to go. That's a rock fight right there. The first of 50 is probably going to win that one right there. Duquesne 40, VCU 34 with 7:40 left to play. So Iowa State and UNC both have identical Quad 1 and Quad 2 records combined at 16-7 combined in the Quad 1 and Quad 2. Both of those teams do not have a Quad 3 and Quad 4 loss. North Carolina played a more difficult non-conference schedule. Iowa State played this easy non-conference schedule that they were blowing out teams, so that's how they inflated the nets. They did net inflation to them. Their net's at number 6 for Iowa State. UNC is at number 8. But Iowa State's strong conference schedule, and they have the better to wins. Iowa State beat Houston twice, which is a 1 seed, the number 1 overall team entering this week in the AP. They beat them twice, trounced them yesterday, and then they also have another win over Baylor as a 3 seed in the bracket, whereas North Carolina has wins over Duke twice, a projected 3 seed, and a win over Tennessee, a projected 2 seed. Oh boy. So whoever hit the confetti button must have helped out VCU, it looks like right there. Oh boy, yeah. I'd be shocked if VCU doesn't win that game. Duquesne might pull a Brown and lose that game at the buzzer. I mean, I don't know when we're ever going to see Brown in the NCAA tournament. That's their chance. That's like Boston University in 2020 when they won the Patriot and then the tournament was canceled because of COVID. I don't know if you're BU. They choked in a 20-point lead and lost against Lehigh in the semifinals a week ago. I don't know the next time that we'll see Boston University and Brown make it to the NCAA tournament, considering that BU has to get past Colgate, a Patriot dynasty, every single year. And then Brown just got red hot this season. Usually they're not in the top 4 for them. But that was their lone shot at getting it, and they'll probably not see another NCAA tournament for a long time, most likely for them. Andrew in the stream, welcome in. Thanks for joining in, man. Things going well. It's been a bloodbath of a game here. 8-point lead. Auburn has possession as they dribble up to the elbow. Florida missed the last shot and tried to save it out of bounds as they went. Trey Donaldson has the top of the key. Jacks up a three. Edge of the logo. Splash. Oh, he hits it. Auburn getting hot from three right now. 55-44. They found their stroke here. 10-zip run in the last 3.5 minutes. Clayton off the runner. Banks it off the glass for two. That helps out the cause there for Florida, but Auburn's threes started to outweigh Auburn's twos in this matchup. Florida 1 for 3 from three-point range. Auburn just made their 5th three of the game. Baseline dribble right to the rim. They score up and through. It's good for 2, plus the foul as Dylan Cardwell cut baseline to the hoop there, and Auburn takes an 11-point lead. This Cardwell and the driver, Jones. They're going to look at, they were showing Jones in the replay afterwards. Oh, yeah, it is Jones, number 12. That's received off the... Cardwell was right next to him, clearing the pathway. So that is Denver Jones who got it to drop off the baseline dribble. Yeah, Florida thought there was an illegal pick set inside the key there by Dylan Cardwell that opened up the gap for Jones to take it the distance. Jones, 89% free throw shooter and 1 at the line. Came up short, tipped up in the air. Almost an offensive rebound. Referees have to stop time, though. Is this on Auburn? Bruce Pearl has his hands over his head. If so, that will be on Chris Moore. This will put Florida in the bonus at the free throw line. And yes, it is. So that's a loose ball foul picked up charge to Chris Moore. Yeah, things going pretty well. Welcome back in. So Florida here will shoot in the 1-and-1 bonus. Both of these teams have done an excellent job today at the free throw line. Auburn's 10 for 12. Florida's 15 for 18. Florida started off 9 for 10. But Condon's only a 68% free throw shooter this season. 1-and-1. In the bonus, he bricked it. Off the back heel. Rebound control by Auburn. 13 minutes left to play. Tigers by 11. Largest lead is 12 today. Auburn crossing midcourt with Trey Donaldson. Has it at the C of the SEC logo. And away from the basketball, Florida commits their 3rd personal foul. So trying to get around the screen was Tyree Samuel, but picks up the 2nd personal foul, as he was looking to see if he can get around Chris Moore. What a game right now. This is taken forever. Physical rock fight, bodies flying everywhere, blocks and blocks and more blocks. 13 combined blocks, 8 of those by Auburn. Auburn has been just a top-tier blocking team, seems like for ages right now. Walker Kessler, a couple of years ago, led the league in blocks. Auburn commits to travel inside the key. Turnover. 3 blocks each by Janai Broom and Dylan Cardwell, both of the front court guys today. Wow, baseball starts in Korea on Wednesday. Wow, yeah, I haven't been following baseball that much because there's been just so much stuff going on for basketball, college basketball, March Madness upcoming. Wow. I know the Celtics play against the Nuggets in Abu Dhabi in the preseason. Jumper mid-range goes down for 2 by Zion Pullen. Pullen works his way up to 14. 12.5 left to play here in the second. Auburn with possession. Trey Donaldson. Who's on top, Cardwell puts it into the hands at the left elbow of number 2, Jalen Williams. Backs his way, turnaround, baby hook, Williams, no good, around and out. Goes right back over to Florida. Up the floor here for the Gators. Zion pulling 14, dumps it off to his teammate Condon. Condon lost control of the basketball, turns it over. It's been an issue as well for Florida today. Has been the handles. They just committed their 9th turnover of the game, leading to steal number 6 by Auburn. Auburn slows down tempo. 12 minutes left to play here in the second half of action. Trey Donaldson sends it out to the wing. Wide open 3. Denver Jones. Got it to roll. It's good for the triple. 60-48. Tied for the largest lead of the game for War Eagle. 9 points by Jones. Makes his first 3 on the board today. Samuel Top of the key, if you're Florida, you gotta go right now offensively. A lot of standing around with the basketball. The clock keeps on winding down. Clayton at the left wing working on Donaldson. Moves it over to Poland. Shot clock's down to 8. Poland at the top of the key, working one-on-one. Poland guarded by Baker Mazar, dribbles up. Jumper, mid-range, 14-footer, skipped around the rim and out of bounds. Touched by Samuel. It's off of Florida. This will go back to Auburn with 11:18 left to go. We're going to take the media timeout on the floor. Auburn keeps on slowing down tempo, playing their pace. 25 double-digit victories this season for the Auburn Tigers out of 26 total wins, 26-7 record. They lead by 12, the 4 seed in the SEC championship, as we have a media timeout on the floor. What a game here by Auburn. 8 total blocks, 7 total steals, allowing Florida to shoot the ball 34% from the floor for a Gators squad that put up 102 against Alabama on Friday. Today, they have been silenced by this very deep, very balanced Auburn Tigers squad, going 10 guys down the lineup with 9 different players scoring. Jedi Broom, 10 points, 9 points by Denver Jones, 8 points by Chad Baker Mazzara and Trey Donaldson. Broom has 3 blocks, Dylan Cardwell has 3 blocks, and then 2 blocks by Jalen Williams. This team is just super physical. They got guys that can lock you up left and right. And they've smashed teams this season. Florida's just 1 for 10 shooting the 3. Auburn is 6 for 17 now. See, Auburn has always had a great defense. What's held back Auburn the past couple years has been turnovers with the guards. Younger guards, inexperience has left Auburn struggling with turnovers. And then the inability to make threes. This season, those numbers skyrocketed. Their balance is incredible for Auburn. They're much better from three-point range. They limit the turnovers. They've only turned it over 7 times this entire game. They're 35% from 3, which isn't that bad. They were shooting bricks, though, in the first half. In the second half, they're starting to knock down their threes. 6 out of 17 from 3 in this game from Auburn, making this team a very dangerous team. I'll make the case there, too, for Iowa State in just a moment. So Auburn, they got to feel embarrassed by how they played last year in the second round. They could not make a free throw against Houston. Look at how they're doing at the free throw line today, 10 for 12 right now at the free throw line for Auburn. This team very well can make a case for a deep run. Same thing with Iowa State. Iowa State last year is going to be embarrassed how they were a no-show against Pitt and put up points in the 40s last year. They could only score in the 40s last year. Got shredded against Pitt. They're top 5 in the nation in steals for Iowa State. They're much better offensively than last season for Iowa State. They got one heck of a coach, which people were scratching their heads about the TJ Otzelberger hire when it happened, and they've been just one of those teams that just has come out of nowhere. When in the past couple of years under Otzelberger, they were an 11 seed and made it to the Sweet 16 when they had 0 momentum 2 years ago. They had some awful games where they were scoring in the 40s. They went on a big losing streak entering the bracket in 2022, and they were an 11 seed, and they made it to the Sweet 16. And then last year made it to the tournament as well as a higher seed, but lost in their first round game against Pitt, which they could not buy a bucket. But Iowa State much better from 3 this year. Much better scoring team, plus their defense is always top-notch, and that's the same case with Auburn. A very well-balanced Auburn squad that is much better from three-point range, much better in taking care of the basketball this season. They've always been just a lockdown defense, physical, gritty type of team under head coach Bruce Pearl that blocks shot after shot after shot. They've blocked 8 total shots in this game. Back from the timeout right now, 11:15 left to go in the second half. Auburn slowing down tempo, keeping control of the basketball at the left wing. Denver Jones off fake as they dribble inside off the spin move. It's able to drop in for 2. That's number 2 off the spin move, Jalen Williams. Williams got himself 6 points. He was injured a couple of games this season, didn't play, now back healthy in the lineup. Largest lead of the game, up by 14 here for War Eagle. Florida's going to go with their possessions. Top of the key for the Gators. Will Richards sends it out to his right around the perimeter to the wing off to Samuel. Dribbles up now, free throw circle. The runner floated up, came off the rim short. Tap back over to Florida, though. Second chance able to go down with a floater. Bucket scored by Denzel Aberdeen, the sophomore guard from Orlando, Florida. 12-point game right now. Make sure to join back in for my Selection Sunday. Live stream will start off at 5:40 p.m. later today. Backdoor cut, throwing it down with a two-handed flush. Chad Baker-Mazara opened up the door with a slam. Great backdoor assist right there by Jedi Broom at the top of the free throw circle. 14-point lead once again. Gators with a possession. Out to the corner, the ball gets sent off to the wing, off to Samuel. Samuel dribbles towards his left around the perimeter, top of the key. That's Denzel Aberdeen, moves it over to Pullen now. Pullen dribbles inside the key. Pullen off fake. Looking for the mid-range shot. Instead, passed over to his teammate. Jumper, baseline, over to Cylinder. No good. Missed by Will Richard. Put back. It is there, though, for two for Thomas Haw. 12-point game. 9:43 left to go. Florida resilient in this game today. Their 7-footer went down in the second minute of action. Micah Handladen, a 7'1" center. Yeah, I drink tea. I actually don't have beer. Yeah, it's a good thing I don't have like liquor, because I went to the hospital on Friday to get an ultrasound with my abdomen. I guess there's like some sort of like cut in my abdomen that it's non-cancerous, but I had to get it checked because some of my levels were high. Auburn able to score down low with Janai Broom off the pick and roll at 66-52, and then Auburn commits the shooting foul. This will send Florida coming up to the free throw line. Yeah, so last month at my doctor's visit, my blood test levels were high for, it was like bilirubin and alt, which had to do with a liver. My blood tests were high, so I had to get scheduled in for an ultrasound, which I went to on Friday. Zion Poyen, 86% free throw shooter, struggled today, though, as he missed the first one. Now 6 for 10 at the free throw line. Quick update on that Duquesne game. This game's kind of ran away lately with constant playing, so my apologies not being able to score to update the score with Duquesne against VCU, but this is a score right now. Duquesne leads 49-41 against VCU with 4:25 left to play. Gonna be a big upset right there if Duquesne wins. Duquesne searching for its first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977. Second free throw is good. 13-point game. Auburn with a possession. Auburn will keep on slowing down tempo. At the right wing perimeter, Baker-Mazara passes down low off the spin move. Broom bounces in, got it to go off the spin inside the low block. 15-point advantage here for Auburn. Largest lead of the game. 14 of those points coming from Janai Broom on 6 for 8 shooting. Gators have to go offensively with under 9 left to go. They're going deep into the shot clock. Shot clock down to 15. Too much dribbling here for Florida. Down low as they power their way to the bucket with Tyrese Samuel with a left-hand layup. 10 points now by Samuel, a transfer from Seton Hall. This Florida team's built off of transfers. Auburn will keep on slowing down the tempo with their team. Broom at the top of the key, moves it down low. Underneath, huge rejection right there. Trying to go up for the open slam dunk was KD Johnson, and Florida scores backdoor with a layup. There was an opening there, and then somehow Florida was able to close it and come up with a huge block there. Auburn had the right decision to go for the two, but an even better defensive play by the Gators. And a timeout taken on the floor by Bruce Pearl. 68-57. With 8:18 left to go in the second half. The massive rejection leads to a transition layup by the Gators to get themselves a little bit of momentum here. Wow, what a game. Block fest today. That's now 14 combined blocks. 8 by Auburn, 6 by Florida. Actually thinking about it, I don't believe I've ever had Indian food before. Believe it or not. I would definitely like to try it. I've never had sushi before either. If you're new on the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, or ring that notification bell if you'd like to be notified for future live streams. If you haven't signed up for it yet, feel free to sign up for the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group. That link is posted in the chat. All are welcome to sign up, be a part of this year's NCAA Tournament Challenge group. I'll be back later today as well around 5:40 p.m. covering the Selection Sunday live stream, so feel free to join in if you'd like to be a part of my Selection Sunday live reaction show. We're going to get things started 20 minutes before the start of the bracket reveal. Should be a good time later today. Jedi Broom with 14, 10 points by Chad Baker-Mazara for Auburn. It's 15 points by Zion pulling the top score for Florida, 11 by Walter Clayton Jr., 10 by Tyree Samuel. Over in the A10 Tournament Championship, Duquesne leading VCU 49-43. Yes, I have seafood quite a bit. Yeah, so I live in an area that we have like a bunch of seafood. So I actually haven't had like actual like lobster before. I've had like lobster rolls, but like served for like actual like lobster before. Usually I get it in like some sort of container for the lobster rolls that come in. So yeah, lobster rolls, quahogs, I have quite a bit. Like I'm like right down the road from Rhode Island, so I have that quite a bit too. We have like a lot of like shrimp and like fish and like haddock too. A lot of that stuff's supposed to be good. Yeah, usually in the summer, I usually go out and get clam cakes and chowder a couple times during the summer. Yeah, so they announced the NIT bracket. I think it's a couple hours after the tournament bracket. I believe it's around like 8 o'clock they announced the NIT bracket because they have to tell the schools if they have to call like all the athletic administrators and ADs and tell them about where they're heading, and then to see if they'll accept the bid or not into the NIT. I remember last year UNC did not accept a bid into the NIT last season. Yeah, if you're one of those teams that's going to be in the NIT, you got to accept the bid, because this year's NIT actually looks like it's meaningful. There's so many bubble teams that's well deserving to be there that's not going to be there, unfortunately, in the brackets. It's just unfortunate in the whole thing. So many different bid stealers this year. Yeah, last year's NIT was really rough because I had a couple teams from the American or Conference USA. North Texas made it to the championship game. It was represented by like Conference USA teams, and then it was Utah Valley out of the WAC that got deep last year in that tournament. Fritos here at the line for Auburn. Jedi Broom missed both of them. Little haunting from last year where he could not buy a free throw in the second round game against Houston. Florida's three comes up short. This is a game to forget for Florida when it comes down to three-point shooting. 1 for 11 right now from the perimeter in this game for Florida. With under 8 minutes left to go, down by 11, you got to start to try to attempt more threes, and hopefully you start to make them. As Jedi Broom gets fouled again, he'll head back to the charity stripe, shoot 2 more. So I've been talking about how this has been a hard-nosed defensive game, block fest. Auburn's going to reach 70 right here with 7:45 left to go. This says a lot for Auburn, just how deep they are, how many times they head to the free throw line. It's kind of shocking they've only made just 10 free throws today. First one's good, now with 11. (49-48). Duquesne is really going to pull a Brown and lose this game. Duquesne leads by 1 against VCU with 1:45 left to go. Second free throw is good. 70-57. Yeah, that's a great question. I actually don't even know like what like city that is that is from right there. I always associated that program as like an online college. Dangerous pass by Florida across the floor. Able to keep it alive, though, as they back their way inside with Condon. Working on Broom. Right-handed turnaround to hook, no good. Battle for the rebound. Pinwheeling around the entire defense, but excellent box out right there by Jedi Broom as he came up with a rebound. Top of the key with Holloway. They're going to slow it down as we're approaching 7 minutes left to go. Outside to Johnson. Lobs it over to number 31, Chaney Johnson. Chaney Johnson, turnaround, 2, connects on it. Tough shots being made by Auburn. Tough defense by Auburn throughout this entire game, limiting Florida. And you can see one team starting to make shots, the other not. 15-point lead. Way too much dribbling for Florida right now, down by 15. They are stumped offensively. Thomas Haw backs his way inside, working on Johnson. Haw, turnaround, 14-footer, swoosh. Okay, they needed that bucket. Now the problem is you got to get stops. But for Auburn, you got a shot clock at 30 seconds once you get the inbound. They keep on taking it down. They're going to see if they can take this down to around 6:20, which they do right there, going backdoor with a layup. They could have even taken it down to 6 as they made the layup backdoor with 18 in the shot clock. 74-59, Florida, quick jumper, missed off the front rim. Rebound controlled by Broom. Janai Broom, 16 points, 8 rebounds, should be the SEC tournament most valuable player. Top of the key, Aiden Holloway slows down tempo right here for Auburn as we're under 6 minutes left to go. Just a dominant game by Auburn. Florida came in the second half, outscoring Auburn 14-7. Florida came up, jumped the path, intercepted it. It was a 1-point game at one chance. Huge, huge, huge rejection. Chaney Johnson, oh man, that's a man's block right there, coming in from behind, swatting it as a ricochet off the backboard all the way to the midcourt logo. Wow, what a block there. Janai Broom with his 59th career double-double as well off the last rebound. Broom receives it. Broom inside the key, backs his way, down low, bounces in. 18 for Janai Broom. 76-59, timeout by Florida. 18-10 for Janai Broom, and points and rebounds should be the MVP of the SEC tournament. What a game for the Tigers. These guys are a force right here. Like, they are just super physical, playing with grit, playing with intensity, passion. I honestly don't know how many teams are going to be able to stop this Auburn Tigers squad. Like, they could go on a deep run in the bracket. Analytically, they are much better than their seed line suggests, projected as a 3. They're analytically a top 6 team in the country when you look at what they've done just metric-wise this season. Timeout on the floor, 5:18 left to go. For Florida, Florida have been torching through the competition lately to get all the way up to a 6 seed. The last month and a half, they had been bubble. They worked their way all the way up to a 6 seed. They did take a step back last Saturday and a loss by 1 in a senior day game at Vanderbilt. But other than that, I mean, this Florida team certainly deserves a 6 seed. I hope this performance doesn't back them and bounce them back to a 7, because they don't deserve a 7. They should be a 6 for them, because they got a realistic chance on picking off a 3 in the second round for the Gators. Hey, I'll see you back later today. Thanks so much for joining in, Andrew. Yeah, this Auburn team low-key is under the radar. Not a whole lot of people have been talking about them. I predicted them to win the SEC championship a week ago. Somebody asked me, who do I have to win the SEC championship? I had said Auburn, because they have just one quad 1 victory. They're the deepest team in America, and they're out to prove that they can pick up some more quad 1 victories. The entire narrative this season has been they cannot win signature games. They have just one quad 1 win. They can't win games away from home. And guess what? They're winning this game right now by 17 with under 5 left to go. Missed jumper by Florida. Rebound control by Auburn. Yeah, I'll see if I can get an update to that. It does not look good for that Florida player. Really didn't look good right there. I'll see if I can get any sort of updates. It's kind of tough for, like, college injuries. Like, a lot of stuff gets hidden. Not really talked about compared to, like, NBA, where there's constant, like, NBA Twitter reporters. Step back 3 in the air for Auburn. Missed off the back rim by Aiden Holloway. And we have think it's going to be over the back, picked up by Auburn here. Yeah, I'll see if there's any updates. Going to check Twitter. Micah Hand-Logden was the player. He got carried off on a stretcher in the 2nd minute of today's game. Looked like a pretty bad injury. Prayers up for him. So yeah, it was over the back. Florida at the free throw line and missed in the 1-on-1 bonus. Auburn collects the rebounds. I'll be back later today, Selection Sunday live stream. Feel free to join in if you guys would like for that one. We'll start off the stream at around 5:40 p.m. Yeah, it's not a good injury. So I just saw a post on Twitter. The bone from the back ankle broke through for the player that went down. Yeah, it's not going to be returned to the tournament anytime soon for that player for Florida. He's a 7'1" center. That's going to take some time to recover. That's going to be like a full 12-month recovery timetable right there, like a full year. Yikes. So he probably won't even play next year. That's the sad part about it, is he was a sophomore. He's probably not going to play next year. That's just devastating. He was bleeding too, and the bone from one of the back ankles popped out. Yeah, Kevin Ware, that was horrific. I remember I was a junior in high school, and we went into sound recording class the next day, and we were talking about that. We were like, oh man, it's like the worst injury we've ever seen in the history of sports at the time, from 2012 when I was a junior in high school. Wow, Duquesne's going to win right now. I'm going to switch this over to CBS since we're on the timeout. 4 minutes left to go. Auburn dominant against Florida, 76-59. Let's take a look here. Duquesne and VCU. Actually, I should probably switch it on my screen most likely, because I think my CBS is ahead by a little bit. (55-51), 10.1 seconds left to go. His name was Micah Hand-Logden. He was a 7'1" center for the team. That's just, oh man, it's just terrible. Like, sending my thoughts and prayers to that young man right there. And like, some recent NCAA tournament success is that some of the teams that's gone to the Final Four in the past have had that like typical 7-foot type of center that's been able to get them there and be able to be helpful towards the team. (55-51), Duquesne leads by 4. Duquesne will get the inbound with 10 seconds left to go. Duquesne, oh, they turn it over. The inbound got poked, though. Did VCU reach in, though, off the inbound? 9.7. VCU cannot believe that call. That looked like a clear steal. Yeah, the Duquesne player couldn't squeeze it off the inbound, but they're going to call a loose ball foul picked up by 11, just reaching around the player Duquesne number 1. That's a crusher for VCU. That sends Duquesne to the free throw line with 9.7 seconds. Duquesne searching for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977. Okay, so here we go. 4 minutes left to play. We come back from the timeout right here. We'll keep you updated with Duquesne and VCU, but wow, Duquesne looking like they're going to head back to the tournament. Inbound for Auburn. Top of the key, Baker Mazar swings it out to his right, Denver Jones. Jones dribbles up, floats it up over the top. Cardwell gets fouled. 2 shots coming up at the free throw line with 3:54 left to play. The Duquesne Dukes, 2.8 seconds away from picking up the A10 chip. The 6th seed. As VCU's 3 was offline. Oh, man, around the rim and out by VCU. It was halfway down there. around and around, and it went out, and Duquesne, as they get followed with 1.9, is looking like they're going to win the A-10 championship as they're leading by 4. There's nothing you can do. If you're VCU, they're going to win it. Wow. That is unbelievable. Free throws here for Auburn. First one was good by Cardwell. Second free throw is good. Just exploding right now for a 19-point lead. This game was much closer, especially the start of the second half. Florida outscored Auburn 14-7 in the first 5 minutes. They picked themselves up and trailed by 1. Florida never led this game today. The halftime score was 38-30 Auburn. And then it was 45-44, and ever since, look at the score now, 78-59. 3.5 left to go. Auburn just going to slow down tempo right here in the under 3.5 minutes. The depth of Auburn is going to be a serious problem for teams in the NCAA tournament. Missed the mark of the pass there to pick on the roll off to Cardwell. Clayton sends it out to the wing. Here's a 3 by Florida, and they're just not making their threes today. Another brick. Clayton at the top. Loose ball gets stripped. Intercepted by Cardwell out to the races. A 4-on-1 to the rim. He scores. Plus 20 on the board with a lead for Auburn, 80-59. Just these guys are absolute dogs of defenders. This is the deepest team in America, and if you can't pick up victories in the round of 64, the Sweet 16, and the Final Four, then good luck. Really good luck to whoever faces Auburn's second draw on a one-day rest in the NCAA tournament, round of 32, Elite 8, and National Championship if they make it there, because prepping for this deep of a team, it's very difficult to do. That's what got San Diego State and Florida Atlantic last year to the Final Four, was their depth. This Auburn team, 3rd in the nation in bench points, number 1 for a major conference team in bench points this season. Dylan Cardwell checks out of the game, standing ovation. Duquesne Dukes, the 6th seed out of the Atlantic 10 Conference, have won the Atlantic 10 Tournament Championship for the first time since 1977. Unbelievable. A couple teams from that 2020 year starting to get redemption this year in winning their conference championship. Peyton Pritchard was part of that 2020 squad for Oregon. Oregon won the Pac-12 last night. They have never lost a first-round game under head coach Dana Altman in the first 7 tries for Oregon, so watch out for them upsetting a team in round 1. And then Duquesne started off 16-0 in 2020, and they did fall apart, but they had an excellent start to the season in 2020 in the pandemic year. And wow, unbelievable. I believe that's like the 21st or 22nd regular season champion that's lost conference championships that we've had this year. It's crazy. Like all the conference regular seasons as the 1 seeds that's lost in their conference tournaments. Outside of Florida, baseline dribble inside, and they bake it home off the glass, plus the foul. They had a bucket before that, so it's 80-63. 2:02 left. Wow. Yeah, I heard about that. Vegas was telling me about that. That's crazy. The game confetti fell during the game. That's yep, no shocker there that it comes from an A-10 school. No shocker. These guys for Auburn worked for a long time to get these guys here. And Bruce Pearl, 2 minutes away from an SEC championship with his squad. Their goal is obviously to win the national championship. Went to the Final Four 5 years ago. Honestly, looking at this one, they look like they could very well have some deep run potential. A team that not a whole lot of people have talked about this season. A team that's flown under the radar. A team that's very deep and can cause a lot of matchup issues. A very physical type of team as Broome heads back to the free throw line. First shot's good by Janai Broome. He should be the SEC most outstanding player today, the top scorer in this game. just netted his 19th point. He has a double-double, 11 assists. Transfer from Morehead State. Second free throw bounces in by Broom. They're going to clear out they're going to send, actually Bruce Pearl sends back Cardwell onto the floor right now for the final 2 minutes. They took away the free throw. Lane violation committed by Auburn, so the free throw did not count. Jedi Broom checks out of the game. Incredible what he has done this season. The first team all-conference selection out of the SEC. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 7 for 10 shooting from the floor by Jedi Broom. This team is on a mission right now. 25 victories by double digits, about to make it 26 this season. The dominance of the Auburn Tigers. Florida down to 2 minutes left to go. The wheels fell off today for Florida. Though they've had an excellent season, will be projected most likely as a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament for the Gators. Walter Clayton went up and he got fouled. Yeah, this game started at 1 o'clock. This game has gone super late. Bunch of fouls. Two shots at the free throw line for Clayton. The first one's good. Feel free to join back in for the Selection Sunday live stream. Just Yale. That's the only one that will get there is the AQ. Wow, I did not see that. So, wow, Isaiah Thomas signing with the Suns 10-day. Thanks for the update, Jeffrey. Inbound here, final minute 50. Auburn by 18. Johnson passes over to the right corner for Chaney Johnson. Chris Moore. Dylan Cardwell backs his way, deflected, and Florida loose ball, battle for it. I like how these guys are still battling in the final minute and a half. Florida will get the tie-up. It will be Gators ball. Substitutions right now for both of these teams. Down to 1:28 left to go. Standing ovations out in the crowd. Wheels fell off in this game for Florida, but a lot of look proud to hit the reset button in the NCAA tournament. They still very well could be a dangerous team in the bracket this year based on the guards that play. Floater inside. It's good for 2 by Denzel Aberdeen. Yeah, that's a good question. I think they probably will for Princeton get an NIT bid. They're well deserving of one. Final minutes. Trey Donaldson inside. Moves it down low off to Cardwell. Throws it down with a two-handed flush. Exclamation point on this one as Auburn has held this game out in front for an entire time. The SEC Tournament champions for 2024. They got just so good of depth on this team. Playmakers, really good guards, and also front court guys. Cardwell was fouled going up on a dunk. One shot here at the line for Cardwell. Donaldson checks out of the game right now towards the bench. Standing ovation for him, Chris Moore. Free throw at the line for Cardwell, right down the middle. 86-67, 53.3 seconds left to go. This Auburn team can really do damage in brackets. I'll be back around 5:40 p.m. Selection Sunday live stream. It started off around 20 minutes prior to the brackets being released around 6 p.m. Jumper by Florida, blocked by Cardwell. These guys are still out here playing hard right now. This team is all hustle, they're all hearts. They gave it away, though. Number 14 is first time on the court today. Number 14 and number 20 Presley Patterson and Carter Sobera getting minutes. Down to 32.8 seconds left to go. This game started at 1 p.m. We're up to 3:25 in the East Coast right now. Just a laundry list of fouls. 20 total by Auburn, 17 by Florida. Florida gets the inbound. Auburn's defense locked down Florida, blitzed them in this game. 1 for 13 from three-point range for a Gators team that was explosive all season offensively. They put up 102 in a win over Alabama on Friday. We have a tie-up. Possession goes to Auburn with 19 seconds. Before you sign off, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well. I'll be back later today for the Selection Sunday live stream, but congratulations to the Auburn Tigers, the 2024 SEC Tournament champions, as Auburn wins 86-67, the final score. I think very well both of these teams have deep run potential in the bracket, but this Auburn team this season looks like they could very well be special for them. Extreme balance on the roster for Auburn. Deepest team in all of America, and they smashed Florida in this game today as Auburn wins it 86-67, the final score. Thanks so much for joining in, being a part on the stream today. Janai Broom, 19 points, 11 rebounds, double-double for Auburn. 11 points by Denver Jones, 10 by Chad Baker-Mazara. What a win for Auburn, as both of these teams will set their sights in the NCAA tournament. We shall see if this gets Auburn up to a 2 seed. They were projected as a 3. We'll see if this boosts them up to a 2 or not. And Florida, for them, whether it will hang them on the 6 line for a hold right there on the 6 line, or will they get the 7 line? It would all depend. But wow, what a college basketball season here. I'm going to flip the page now to the NCAA tournament. I'll be back later today, 5:40 p.m., covering the Selection Sunday live stream for my live reactions. Make sure to join back in, be a part of that video for the live stream. I'm going to take a break here for the next 2 hours, and then we'll be back. See you guys slightly past 5:30. Thanks so much for joining in. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. See you guys back later today for the Selection Sunday live stream. Before I go, I'm going to close out to the channel members. Here we go. Jason, Warren, Rajeep, I Am Ghost, Russell, John, Mark, Kelly, Jeffrey, Vegas, Oink Oink, Michael, Katie, Bradley, Daniel, Derek, Sister Surround, Mario, Guido, SG Sports Talk, Ice Ice Baby, Robin, and Melinda. Thanks all for joining in, being a part on the stream today. The Auburn Tigers, the 2024 SEC Tournament champions. This game goes final score, Auburn 86, Florida 67. I'll see you back later today for the Selection Sunday live stream for the bracket reveal. Thanks so much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Selection Sunday.